Astrodome. Almost every fan has a blue and white pom-pom symbolic of the colors of their Houston Oilers football team. The Houston Oilers on your right, 7-4, a couple of games behind the Pittsburgh Steelers, of course, but they are well within contention there because this team has really come on in the second half. They'll kick off. Tony Fritsch will kick off for Houston, and deep for the Miami Dolphins is number 82, Dorial Harris, and number 27, Gary Davis. Miami, of course, 8-3. They need a win tonight, as Howard mentioned, to tie with New England in the AFC's Eastern Division. Tony Fritsch, having a big year as a place kicker, will get this game underway. And Dorial Harris bobbles it right at the goal line. And Harris, not sure whether or not he can take the touchback or not, moves out, plays it safe to the 18-yard line, where Miami will begin with, of course, Bob Greasy at quarterback, number 12. The running backs, number 24, Del Williams, we've talked of him, leading the National Football League in rushing, having a great year. Leroy Harris, number 38, is there. Wide receivers, Dorial Harris, number 82, Nat Moore, number 89, each has caught 32 passes. The tight end, Andre Tillman, having his best year. And let's take a look quickly at the offensive line. There you have. And on the right side, Wayne Moore is returning for Mike Kern. It could be a key position, that right tackle spot for Miami tonight. The bespectacled Bob Greasy. On 1st and 10 from their own 18-yard line. Del Williams gets the call and finds an opening and bursts out to the 30-yard line. First down, Miami. And quickly, we'll look at the defense. It's a 3-4. If you follow this game, you know that first three will be Alvin Bethea, number 65. Curly Culp is the nose guard, 78. James Young, 77. The linebackers, and they are good. 52 is Robert Brazil. Greg Bingham, number 54. Steve Kiner, number 57. Ted Washington, 59, and there is a solid secondary, but where the Oilers really make the defensive play is with those linebackers behind that strong front three. The 1st and 10, right at the 30-yard line for Miami. Dorial Harris split to the left. This is Nat Moore in motion. Del Williams gets the call, bounces off one Houston Oiler and moves up to the 32. A gain of 2, it'll be 2nd and 8.
It's impossible to talk about that trade that brought Del Williams to Miami without noting already, as we have noted, that this man is the key to the whole Miami offense. Don Shula told you what kind of player he is, or at least touched upon it. There's Shula. He fits in exactly to Shula's scheme of things. He can run, he can block, he can catch.
2nd down and 8. The ball at the 32-yard line. Nat Moore in motion, Greasy to the air. Looks out in the flat. Goes to the big fullback, Harris, and Harris is up close to a 1st down. He has it at the 43-yard line. 1st down, Miami.
Harris is again a reflection of the drafting strength of a man named Bobby Beathard, who used to be the personnel director for Miami, who's now the general manager of Washington. We've talked about him at length in past games. Harris acquired, along with Gary Davis, his 5th and 6th round choices, and the science of drafting begins not in the top rounds, but in the 4th round.
Greasy brings the Dolphins up, the ball just over the 43-yard line. A very disciplined football team. They reflect their quarterback. They reflect the coaching of Don Shula. And this year they have this man, Del Williams, who erupts down to the 37-yard line. Another 1st down for Miami. And if you think Del Williams is the workhorse, you're right. He's carried the ball 214 times coming into tonight. Their nearest other man with 64 attempts, Harris. He's something, Howard.
All right, let's look at it from the end zone. That hole was opened by 62, Jim Langer. All night long, you're going to watch, there's Delman, you're going to watch Jim Langer against the nose guard, Curly Culp, who in his own right is a great player at his position. A key matchup.
1st and 10, 38-yard line, Houston Oilers. Greasy again, floods his backs to the left. Can't find the downfield receiver, dumps it off to Harris, and he fumbles the ball. And quickly, he's back for the recovery and picks up 2-3 yards to the 35-yard line.
A big break for Miami right there. A big break. And in that man, Greasy, they call him Old Four Eyes in Miami because he wears the specs. The most polished, in my view, the most sophisticated, the most poised quarterback in the National Football League. Good enough to have won 2 Super Bowls.
They call him All-Pro, and that's what he indeed is. Second down and 8. The ball at the 35-yard line. Harris single setback. Flag is down. You saw the movement. Going for Nat Moore. He holds on. But keep in mind, a flag is down as Willie Alexander makes the tackle at the 9.
Play be called back.
No, Houston offside.
They'll decline.
Curly Cope making the quick movement, and Miami has a first and goal, and they are a machine in the opening moments tonight.
And a great offensive team, as we noted at the beginning of the telecast. Look at this play again. What do you say about Nat Moore, number 89? What do you do about him? Look at that catch. He is virtually unstoppable. Shula uses him often in the backfield as a third back. He can do anything on offense. A fourth-round draft choice. Another tribute to the departed Becker.
8 touchdowns thus far for Nat Moore. 32 touchdowns in a little more than 4 years. First and goal. The ball at the 9-yard line. Leroy Harris follows Del Williams. Bounces off a Houston Oiler to the 5-yard line. It'll be second and goal at the 5. Robert Brazil in there finally for the stop for Houston.
That's the man who is so great, Leroy Harris, on short yardage situations when the defense bunches in and he can break it all the way, as he did last year in a 17-6 victory over Baltimore. At that point, the most watched Monday night game ever. You're looking at Don Shula looking on, and he did it again this year in the preseason with Frank and me in attendance.
Shula, the third winningest coach in the history of pro football. Second and goal. The ball right at the 5-yard line. Greasy splits his back. Puts into the end zone. The big tight end is there. Tillman, and the flag is down. We're going to have a holding call. It's going to be assessed against Miami. Referee tonight is Gene Bart. And it'll be walked off.
So, as Frank said, utterly machine-like offensively, suddenly a critical mistake. The holding call against Miami, which has been just devastating in this quick drive downfield, combining the run with the pass and evidence of Greasy and his play-calling abilities.
Let's hear the call from Gene Barth.
Number 79, offensive holding, second down.
Wayne Moore, I told you at the top of the show, he's playing on the right side. He's missed most of the season with a bad knee. He had to come in there and play for Mike Curran, who has a knee problem. So the first call, and a tough call against Miami, that of Wayne Moore on the right side. Second down, 16. Norm Bulash is in, number 31. He's in there with Del Williams. Greasy. And throws intended for Duriel Harris, and Duriel Harris being defended very smartly by Mike Reinfeldt for 37. Let's take a look at him.
Yeah, watch him. He claimed interference, but no evidence of it, at least as far as the official was concerned.
And I'll tell you why. If the defensive back, under the new rules, takes his position, it's almost like basketball. You as a receiver cannot run into him. So there was a collision, no penalty. Reinfeldt playing it perfectly. Third and goal, the ball at the 15. The Dolphins have used up nearly 5 minutes of the first quarter. Single setback is Gary Davis. Movement again, a flag is up. Tillman gets nailed at the 10-yard line. Hit out there by Robert Brazil and J.C. Wilson, but again, a flag is down, line of scrimmage. And movement again on the part of the Oilers.
You can sense the excitement here in Houston. Bum Phillips could sense it last night at dinner. He couldn't sit still. There he is. You heard his talk with Frank. On the outside, apparently calm. Understated cowboy type. Drove. On the inside, chewing himself up. A fine man. But in this crowd tonight, because they had had 4 Monday night football games come a cropper, let's listen to the call. He'll call it in just a second. He paces off the yardage.
65 defense, offside, third down.
Elvin Bethea.
And it'll be third and goal.
But suddenly they came alive on a Monday night game just a few weeks ago when they ripped the Steelers 24-17. And this is a fine football team. And they're going to put on a great show tonight. Win or lose.
Cephalo is in, number 81. That gives you 3 wide receivers. Juriel Harris, 82. Nat Moore, 89. Gary Davis in there in the set position. BC again splits his backs. Nat Moore out of the backfield, touchdown Miami. And Howard mentioned that Nat Moore can do a lot of things. That time he came out as a circle back, wide open. Greasy had every one of his receivers in the pattern. The 3-man rush could not get to him. He just waited till Nat Moore uncovered, swinging around to the left. Touchdown Miami.
Look at it again. The circle pattern is described by Frank. In preseason, when we had Miami against Minnesota, now it'll be coming right at you. We talked about Shula's decision to use Nat Moore frequently as a third back in the backfield, and that is exactly why.
Garo Yepremian on for the conversion. The Dolphins in possession for nearly 5 minutes. Get on the scoreboard first. Yepremian hits, and the Dolphins have a 7-0 lead. The Miami Dolphins move the length of the football field. They lead the Houston Oilers 7-0, 10-10 remaining the first quarter.
Here's to good friends. Tonight is kind of special.
Hey, where you been? Well, it wasn't easy getting tickets for this game.
Hey, Bob.
Eddie, I know exactly what I want. I want the biggest steak you got and a bottle of Lowenbrau. Steak and Lowenbrau. Dolan, you're a genius.
When you want the taste of a truly great American beer, tonight, let it be Lowenbrau.
Here's to the chef. Here's to the bartender.
Take any razor available in America. Any razor. Now there's an electric shaver that will shave as close or your money back. The Remington XLR. Remington can guarantee a close shave because only Remington has this remarkable 3-part system. The first head shaves close, the second closer. The unique intercept cutter is designed to shave longer hairs. The Remington XLR. It shaves as close as a blade or your money back.
Friday, a special telecast at 1 o'clock Eastern. Sugar Bowl bound #1. Penn State battles top-ranked Pittsburgh. Friday afternoon on ABC.
Bob Greasy, who missed really 5 full games, has directed the Miami Dolphins 82 yards. They lead 7-0. Touchdown pass. Nat Moore working out of the backfield. Deep for Houston. Number 81 is Johnny Dearden. And number 39 is Larry Poole, who began his year with the Cleveland Browns. The Oilers picked him up as a free agent. And Poole, well, has it taken away from him. This is Tim Wilson. The big setback. Wilson moves out over the 20-yard line, out to the 26-yard line. Let's meet the offense. Dan Pastorini having his finest year. He has a lot of help from a couple of big men as setbacks. Earl Campbell, number 34. Tim Wilson, number 45. The wide receivers, Ken Barrow, 00. Mike Renfro, 82, will alternate with Rich Castor, number 88, at the other wide receiver. Mike Barber, the tight end, he's having a super year. And the offensive line that has allowed Pastorini to be sacked only 9 times. A super job by this offensive line thus far this year. On the first down, the big man, Earl Campbell, tries the right side, and sheer force and effort carries him for 4 yards, but it'll be 2nd and 6. Defensively for the Dolphins, all of these 3, the front 3, have had knee surgery. Bob Baumauer and A.J. Dewey, both this year. The linebackers, they're good, just like the Houston Oilers. Bull Camper, a big heavy hitter. Steve Toll, Rusty Chambers, Larry Gordon. The secondary, having a super year, is Tim Foley, number 25. Nat Moore on the sidelines with his 33 career touchdown and his 9th of this season. 2nd down and 8. Ball at the 24-yard line. Earl Campbell, right side. Runs into number 58, Bo Camper. We told you he's big and strong. He's 6'6", a 245-pounder, and he put it on Earl.
We've told you repeatedly that Bo Camper, a #1 draft choice, as you look at him isolated out of San Jose State, is a replica of Ted Hendricks, except that he's bigger and even stronger and quicker. This is going to be one of the superstars of the league for years to come.
Campbell gets a yard. It's 3rd down. Call it a long 6. The ball at the 30-yard line. Ronnie Coleman's in there, number 47. Probably would have been Rob Carpenter, but he's out for the season with the Houston Oilers. This is Ronnie Coleman, and Coleman finds a little opening and gets up close to the 35-yard line, short of the first down. Houston must punt.
Remember that Houston is a team with tremendous comeback capacity. As Don Shula noted in our pregame talk, great in the second half, where Miami has been almost doleful by Shula's own admission. Man hurt on the field. We'll get a report on that as quickly as we can. And it is George Reno. George Reno's done a tremendous job this year on the offensive line for Houston. A key to the development of that unit. Under any circumstances, we have two converse situations here tonight, Frank. Miami brilliant in the first half, Houston in the second half, all year long. So we've got a lot of excitement tonight. We'll be right back.
The system, TCR. Total control racing. Slotless racing with the jam car passing on the right or the left. Watch it again. This year, we've added van and truck sets. And for the ultimate challenge, there's the TCR 2+2 Dual Jam Car Special. And there's also the lighted Blazer Speedway with headlights for day and night racing. This is the system, TCR. Total control racing from Ideal.
Buick introduces a car destined to be a classic. The 1979 Buick Riviera. What most cars will never be, it already is. With almost every power assist available, standard. Yet for all its elegance, there is another side to Riviera. The traction of front-wheel drive and the power of turbocharging. Available on the Riviera and standard on the Riviera S-Type. The new Buick Riviera. At least once in your life, you should own a car this incredible.
Sunday, why did they want to take away her child? A question of love. Parental discretion advised.
The Houston Oilers left guard, George Reno, a second-year man out of Penn State, down on the field. He's being administered to. It appears to be some damage, some sort of damage to the right leg. There are the trainer and medical staff of the Houston Oilers. And we told you about Friday college football coming your way. It's a doubleheader, of course. On Saturday, Michigan goes against Ohio State. Now, the winner of that will go to the Rose Bowl, where they'll meet USC. And Michigan, of course, led by Heisman Trophy candidate quarterback Rick Leach. Leach holds every NCAA record for counting for 79 touchdowns, sixth quarterback in NCAA history to have rushed more than 2,000 yards. He's some athlete. They, of course, go against Ohio State. We know all about being coached by the legendary Woody Hayes. That, of course, followed by one of the great games in college history, Notre Dame against USC. All NCAA college football coming your way Saturday.
The graphic was wrong. It should have been USC Notre Dame. But you saw Arena being taken off, and one hates to see that. It apparently is a knee. We'll get to George Reno later in the game. Critical in the offensive line of this fine Houston team.
Cliff Parsley will punt. Jimmy Cephalo is deep for Miami, not anticipating a large kick because Parsley has not been kicking deep, but he hits a good one this time. It doesn't turn over, however, it falls at the 21, and this is Cephalo. And Cephalo gets Miami in good field position, going out close to the 39-yard line. 43-yard punt by Parsley.
There's that doubleheader that Frank was talking about. The Buckeyes against the Wolverines. The Fighting Irish against the Trojans. What a day for college football.
Boy, they've been going at it for 50 years. Let's see Notre Dame. I don't think Notre Dame's won out there since mid-60s.
You're biased.
Well, rightfully so. I think Notre Dame is a great football team. So does my alma mater. Miami, they went 82 yards the first time they had possession. They had the ball at their 39-yard line. Williams, 24. Leroy Harris, 38. Those are your setbacks. Harris ambles out to the 42-yard line. Gain of a long 3. It'll be second down and 7. James Young, 77, in on that stop for Houston.
All night long. Deep in the trenches. 62 Langer will be going against Curly Culp, who has the perfect body for a nose guard in the 34 defense. And as the night goes on, the shifting fortunes will evidence themselves.
Miami leading 7-0. Greasy to Moore. 7:26 remaining in the first quarter. Second down, 7. Ball at the 43. Greasy back. This time he gets the blitz, and that's what we have been anticipating. James Young came in, but Robert Brazil was also there. Miami did not have enough men because Greasy had put them all into the pattern. Greasy goes down at the 30.
Now, we were anticipating the blitz in the earlier Miami drive. We didn't see it. There's Bum with his 4-year record, which is a good one. But the problem when you start to blitz Greasy is, with his experience and his poise, Frank, I think you'll back me up on this, he picks you apart.
Indeed he does. He will probably not be putting those backs into the pattern on 2nd and long, the ideal blitzing down. There was a loss of 12 yards there, all the way back close to the 30-yard line. They must get near midfield for a first down. Gary Davis is in, number 27. Matt Moore in the backfield, number 89. Darrell Harris is deep. Back there is Willie Alexander. They both come down, and they're both come down out of bounds, incomplete. Now, had they come down in dual possession, inbounds, it would go to the offense. But they came down out of bounds, incomplete.
Which the crowd doesn't realize. They're booing because they thought 19, Willie Alexander had it. But it would not, in our opinion, have been called that way because of the rule just stated by the giver. Under any circumstances, it's now a punt situation.
And George Roberts comes out for Miami. Guido Merkins is deep, number 29 for the Oilers. The Oilers not being too successful this year, returning punts. They lost the key man, Billy White Shoes Johnson, a great name in football. There's Merkins standing at his 30-yard line. Billy White Shoes Johnson is now wearing white crutches. Surgery a week ago for Billy White Shoes Johnson. Merkins taken all the way back to the 15. Fine kick by Roberts. And Merkins gets around the corner and gets out close to the 30-yard line. 54-yard punt by George Roberts. So we have 6:31 remaining in the first quarter. It's Miami 7, Houston nothing.
In 1906, Harvey Firestone built the first mechanically mounted pneumatic tires for his friend Henry Ford. You know, Harvey sold a lot of tires because Henry sold a lot of cars. And then in 1908, Harvey came up with the first non-skid tread pattern. You knew it was non-skid because it said so right on the tread. Harvey had a lot of good ideas. He was the first one to put rubber tires on a tractor, ever.
You see, Harvey Firestone was never satisfied. He was always looking for a better way.
And today, Firestone engineers are still looking for ways to make better tires. And that's led to the finest steel-belted radio Firestone has ever built, the 721. It's a product Harvey Firestone would have been proud of. Because, you know, he always said he wanted Firestone products to be the best today and still better tomorrow.
Back in the Astrodome, it's sold out, partisan crowd, of course, jubilant crowd. They've watched the Houston Oilers battle themselves in the contention in the AFC Central Division, trailing the Pittsburgh Steelers. But the wild cards are there. Pastorini on 1st and 10. Fires out, intended for Wilson, and it's incomplete.
As you watch the Houston team tonight, you don't often read about assistant coaches. But the key to Houston's improvement this year has been the development, as you look at Dan Pastorini, in their offensive line. And the key to that development has been the coaching of a man named Joe Bugle the last 2 seasons. He came to the Oilers from the Lions. Prior to that, he served under Rick Forzano at the Naval Academy. I'm going to fill you in on him more during the course of the night because he's done a superb job.
At left guard for Houston as Dan Pastorini checks off, 2nd down and 10, is Morris Towns. Pastorini, play action to Campbell, finds a man open. He goes to his tight end, Barber, and Barber has a first down Miami territory at the 41.
Right there, you saw the improvement in that man, number 7, Dan Pastorini, this year. He's been around a long time. He's been, quite frankly, a disappointment. But this year, with a sound offensive line to help him, he developed. And you saw the pass to the fine tight end, Mike Barber. That pass, as we look at it coming right at us, had what we call touch. Pastorini never had touch in his earlier years. This year, he's developed it. He's become a mature quarterback.
And I'd wager you it was a checkoff by Pastorini. He looked over the defense, changed off. This time he goes to Campbell, and the big man who has to keep your front 3 or your front 4 honest, because you can't just disregard Houston anymore as to the running game. You can't play them strictly for a Pastorini pass. And that is what Campbell has given the Houston Oilers and given Dan Pastorini specifically.
73 yards against Atlanta on a swing pass. Got good blocking in the beginning, forced his own way all the rest of the way. This is a great football play.
Second down, 7. Ball at the 38-yard line. Pastorini rolling slightly to the right. He had Ken Burrow open for a moment and overthrows. It'll be third down, 7. Morris Thomas defending. Pastorini had him for a moment and did not deliver it quickly enough. There's Kenny Burrow, and we talked about that more as the penalty is going to be assessed. And it's going to be marked off against Miami. We'll get the call from Gene Barth in a moment. We'll tell you a little about Ken Burrow.
I think it was called against Den Herder.
Personal foul, number 83 defense.
That's it.
Vern Den Herder of Miami draws the personal foul. That moves the ball to the 23-yard line. First and 10, Houston. But Kenny Burrow, one of the great deep receivers, averaging over 19 yards of reception his career, but this year only 11. And that's not as bad as it sounds. That means that Pastorini has become a disciplined quarterback. He does not go for the bomb anymore all the time. Campbell, straight ahead, and Campbell inside. Who? Wilson. Tim Wilson. He's a big one also. 6'3", 220-pounder. He gets inside the 20.
Let me quickly note Wilson's in for Rob Carpenter, number 26, who's out for the rest of the year. Suffered a partially torn ligament in a weird accident, as you look at Tim, occasioned by Greg Sampson, Carpenter's own teammate, bumping into him laterally on a given play.
Second and 7. Handoff, Campbell. And Campbell fights for yardage, gets down close to the 15, about the 16-yard line, short of the first down. It'll be third, a long 2.
Campbell will be tackled tonight before it's over once or twice by the linebacker Steve Toll. The two did a commercial together. Toll said to me last night, Jeff, watch Campbell. He'll never gain a yard. I'll kill him. The two are actually close friends.
Third down, well, ball at 3. The ball marked right at the 16-yard line. Out comes Campbell. In comes Ronnie Coleman. He's a good receiver. Another wide receiver comes in, Rich Castor. Fired over the middle. And taken there by Mike Barber. He'll be marked down at the 4-yard line where he was touched when he went down. It'll be first and goal. Houston and the Oilers have roared right back.
This crowd's going crazy. Nothing but pom-poms as you look at it again in evidence. Everywhere among the 50,000, there are blue and white pom-poms. They've got a song for the Oilers. There they are. There are the pom-poms. It's like a college game.
You saw Barber crossing. That was a great catch because there was another Oiler offensive receiver cut right in front of him. He was almost picked off by his own man. First and goal at the 4. Campbell, he has great speed. And he has tremendous strength. Flag is down. Campbell close to the goal line on sheer strength and speed.
I don't care what penalty is called. I don't care. You saw right there why Earl Campbell is a great back with that crunching power. Look at Bum.
Bum wants the touchdown. We have not seen an indication of such. It's about a foot short. That's where it'll be marked, and there will be a face mask called against Miami. I'll tell you, watch Campbell. He is supposed to go through the 5-hole, breaks it off to the outside, and just turns on the speed. And for a big man, he has great speed.
Mask penalty, 83 defense.
And Den Herder was called again for a face mask, and you saw the strength of this 224-pound Heisman Award winner from the University of Texas.
The kind of game we expected tonight. Two fine teams.
Campbell, forget it. 6 points. He was the man that kept them alive against New England on a critical short yardage situation that Tom Phillips said we had to have. They gave it to Campbell. It was the same kind of a play as a moment ago. He kept the drive alive, and of course they came on last week to beat New England 26-23. Look at him again.
Look at him again. He's the man who scored 3 touchdowns against the Pittsburgh Steelers on a Monday night. Oh, boy, this is a football game.
Tony Fritz is on. He'll attempt to tie it up. We have 3:32 remaining in the first quarter. Hard-hitting football, both teams. Fritz, right through the heart. And Earl Campbell, a little extra effort. He got the first and goal inside the 1-yard line. We'll be back in a wild Astrodome in just a moment.
At GMC, truck people's what we are. We got 'em big and small and in between, even buses but no cars. Cycles are not our chosen field, nor mowers for your lawn, but our trucks keep moving on.
We're GMC Truck and Coach Division of General Motors. Trucks are what we've been about for 75 years.
GMC.
The new Minolta XG7 35mm reflex camera is automatic, so you can concentrate on the action while the XG7 sets itself. All you do is focus and press the button. The optional auto winder even advances the film for you. With the XG7, you can change lenses fast, too. The Minolta XG7. Try it. You'll fall for it.
He gained over 4,400 yards at the University of Texas. He's a great young man, and just before we came back from commercial, as he typically does, raised the hook 'em horn sign and said, "Hi, Mom." A great affection for this young man, for his family. Tony Fritz set to kick off. Deep is Duriel Harris, 82. Gary Davis, number 27. 3:32 remaining in the first quarter. 2 long scoring drives has brought us to a 7-7 tie. Fritz, it'll be short. And hustling up and bobbling the ball is number 27, Gary Davis. He picks it up and moves out to the 26-yard line where Miami will begin. Johnny Dearden hustling down there for the Houston Oilers. Let's take a look at Dearden. He's one of the key special team members. Well, I'll tell you, these special teams, there's a lot of noise out there.
Johnny Dearden can carry the football.
Whole bunch of racket on those special teams.
Well, they're right about that.
Discussion going on. All right, Greasy brings them up. Williams, 24, Harris, 38, the setbacks. Nat Moore in motion. Del Williams, Harris in front with a block, and number 57, you saw Steve Kiner blitz, nailing Williams for a loss of a couple of yards, make it 3 all the way back to the 23-yard line. And let's watch number 57. He read it beautifully, sliced in between and behind Harris, between the guards, and down goes Del Williams. There he is. He finally found a home down here, 75, after being traded by Dallas to New England, then to Miami, to Washington, back to New England. He's found himself, too. A great young man.
He really rehabilitated himself. He's a long story, but he made that play, which is what matters now.
And 13. Del Williams. And Williams breaks a few tackles, gets back to the original line of scrimmage and more as he moves out to the 29-yard line, a gain of about 5. It'll be 3rd down and 8. Played his high school football right here in Houston, Kashmir High School, and you have to know that the NFL's leading rusher has to feel awfully good about coming back to where his high school chums can come and visit him.
Had a bad week last week, Frank.
Bought over
6 rushes, 144 yards.
Bought over 90 tickets for this game to pass out to his friends. The passing offensive specialty unit in for the Dolphins. Jimmy Cephalo is in. He wears number 81. Greasy is back, has the time, looking for Harris, and Harris goes up with number 37, Mike Reinfeldt. Incomplete. Miami will have to turn it over. Good defensive play by Reinfeldt.
Look at it isolated. Duriel Harris. from New Mexico.
He won his starting job, did Reinfeld, a couple of years ago from C.L. Whittington, and you can't get him out of there. There he is, number 37. George Roberts comes out for Miami to do the punting. Had a beauty a short while ago. Guido Merkins is deep for the Oilers. He's standing at his own 29-yard line. And Roberts powders another long kick that takes Merkins back to the 23. Merkins again gets around the corner. A flag goes down as Merkins goes out of bounds out near the 40-yard line. But a flag is down.
There'll be a clip called on this play, but that's twice Merkins, as Frank has noted, turned the corner and got good returns. There you see a sign we must take notice of. Leonard Dose owns the Philadelphia Eagles. He has just, in this city, undergone open-heart surgery. He happens to be a great gentleman. He happens to have his whole heart in professional football. And along with that sign, and everybody in this arena, all of our prayers are with you, Leonard.
A holding call against Houston. And it moves the Oilers back to their 28-yard line.
Holding, not a clip.
1:37 remaining in the first quarter. We're tied at 7. The quick toss. Campbell gets the block from Wilson, turns the corner. Tim Wilson with a fine block on Curtis Johnson springs Campbell out close to the 35-yard line. They'll mark it at the 34. A gain of 6. It'll be 2nd and 4.
A fellow made that tackle. 21, Rick Vogt, who deserves notice. I never thought he'd play football again. After Matt Snell racked him up, he was rushed to the hospital in the Super Bowl game of January 12, 1969. But this great veteran came back, and now he's a key member of that secondary on Miami. Frank?
2nd and 4. Pastorini calls his own plays. Switches off, goes to Wilson, and Tim Wilson, a second-year man out of Maryland, goes to the first down. I believe he has it. I'll tell you, as the first down is indicated, between Wilson and Campbell, they've got a pair in there. Wilson is 6'3" and a 220-pounder. Was a blocking back most of the time in Maryland, even though he piled up over 600 yards there as a senior. Came in as a rookie last year, rookie number 1 draft pick. He went over 300 yards. And a tough year for the Oilers offensively. A team with Campbell, they're quite a pair. 1st and 10, the ball at the 38-yard line of the Oilers. Wilson with the block, Campbell with the ball, and Campbell shares strength to the 43-yard line. Gain of 5. It'll be 2nd and 5. Larry Gordon stops him there.
Sheer strength, but that charge is being provided by the offensive line. And I talked about Joe Bugle. Look at Campbell's game-by-game totals. 300-yard games right there. And now, 2 more right there. A brilliant rookie year thus far for Earl Campbell. He missed a game against Cleveland when Coleman came in and did a superb job. That's the thing Bum Phillips has developed here. Depth to face the injuries that are inevitable in this contact and often violent game.
The Oilers are going to let it count down. They're not going to attempt another play. This will give them an opportunity to have a quick chit-chat with the coaching staff on the sidelines. Pastorini moves over at the end of the first quarter. We'll be back with second quarter action in a moment.
We are super critical on that line. We'll knock down engines for a bad paint job, and that's no jive, man. Quality control is the most important aspect of the whole business.
James Rock, Quality Control Inspector. This is who we are and what we do at General Motors.
If the customer has problems with that car, then we got problems, because he's not going to be a General Motors customer again. We have 9 inspection stations. I go around to critical points on the line to ensure that they're doing the job right. I run hot tests. You can listen to that engine and you can say, well, this one's a good one or this one's a bad one. It's a good feeling. It's a little feeling of power. There's nobody going to overrule you. But we want to ensure that by the time that it's shipped to the assembly divisions, that engine does function in the way that it's designed to function. I feel personally responsible for that car. I know it's a good car. I know we build it and we build it right.
General Motors, people building transportation to serve people.
When you shoot a lot of pool and bars, you want to stay fast and loose. And you don't want to get filled up. That's why I drink light beer from Miller. Got a third less calories than their regular beer, and it's less filling. Plus, the taste is great. And even though a lot of people don't think pool is strenuous, let me tell you something. You can work up a real good thirst, even when you're just showing off.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
The top of the Astrodome as we pound down and take a look at this jam-packed stadium. 50,000 it holds, built in the early 60s. And they've seen a lot of memorable events. One of them I covered, Bobby Riggs. Remember that, Billie Jean King, along with Howard. Right now, the Oilers have the ball at their own 43, second down at 5. It's all tied at 7 as we begin the second quarter. Earl Campbell with another fine block by Wilson, and Campbell has a first down, or very close to one at the 49-yard line.
I'll tell you, that Wilson is some blocker. He really is. He's out there in front of Earl every step of the way. First quarter stats. Look how even they are. Right down the line. And the score, even. Although Miami with a slight edge in possession, 7-7. And exactly the kind of football game we anticipated. As I said at the top, you couldn't have a better matchup in the NFL these days.
Houston, if you watched them in the past without Earl Campbell, you see a different football team. They can play a control game. Pastorini no longer has to rely on throwing it 80 yards to Ken Burrow. This man does it for him. Gets respect, if you will, from the defense. Here, Earl picks up a long 2 yards over the midfield marker down to the 49-yard line.
Earl Campbell's
second down and 8.
I'm sorry, Giff. Earl Campbell's number is 34. Each team plays the 34 defense. The nose guard, the 2 defensive ends, the 4 linebackers. And Curly Colt for Houston, exactly the right build for it. Baumhauer for Miami, a big kid, but with a low center of gravity, so he's right for it.
Doug Better's in defensively. A rookie from the University of Nevada, Reno for Miami, but Campbell gets the call, breaks it against the grain, a flag is down, and Campbell gets to the 40-yard line with a Houston first down, but a flag is down in an area that generally calls for holding. And there it is. It'll be marked off against Houston. Morris Towns, we told you, is in offensively for Houston, a left guard. He wears 76. George Reiner, injured in the first quarter. We don't know whether he'll be back or not. Here's the call.
Number 76 offense, holding, second down.
It is Morris Towns, Reiner's replacement, who gets the call. There he is. Second-year man out of the University of Mississippi. So it'll be second down and 18. The ball marched all the way back to the 41-yard line as we take a look at Towns, who all of a sudden was thrown into the action tonight with the injury to George Reiner. Ronnie Coleman comes in, the passing offensive specialty unit of the Houston Oilers, single setback. Rich Castor is in, number 88. This is Coleman as Pastorini tries to change up, probably anticipating a blitz on the second and long, and Coleman gets out close to the 45-yard line. It'll be third down, 14. Den Herder is in there now with Bob Baumhauer, number 73, and A.J. Dewey is back into the lineup. And Bob Matheson, yes, he's in there. He comes in on passing situations. He wears 53 for Miami. Rich Castor is 88. Mike Renfro is 82. Ken Burrow is 00 for Houston. 3-man rush by Miami. Pastorini has a time. Rifles it in and out of the hands of his receiver. And that's Mike Barber, who sparked the Oilers' first drive to a touchdown. It'll be fourth down, and Houston must punt.
Barber's slow to get up. Knows the ball was right in his mitts. Knows he should have had it. And a Houston drive would have been sustaining.
You saw the strength of Pastorini, too, Howard. He can really drill it. He had to, and it was a very difficult catch, the one he should have had. You're right, but it was tough. It was moving. Cephalo is standing at his 15-yard line. Cliff Parsley will kick from somewhere around his 34. Oh, and he puts up a beauty. Takes Cephalo back to the 10. He takes a chance. And gets Miami some breathing room out close to the 17-yard line. A good 45-yard punt by Parsley. Cephalo did not go for the fair catch, and he gets Miami out of a little bit of trouble.
I'm Jim McKay for Timex. The most extraordinary thing about this quartz digital watch is not that it tells you the time all the time, night and day. Not that it's 99.997% accurate. Not that it costs only $32.95. No, the most extraordinary thing is it's a Timex.
Buick continues the turbocharging of America with the world's biggest choice of turbocharged cars, the 1979 Turbo Buicks. 4 cars, all powered by the remarkable turbocharged V6. To drive one is to want one. The new Turbo Buicks, the Riviera S-Type, the Sabre Sport Coupe, Regal Sport Coupe, and the Century Coupe and Sedan. When it comes to turbocharging, nobody else even comes close.
Saturday, 12:30 Eastern, a Rose Bowl shootout. Michigan battles Ohio State. Then at 4, number 3, USC tackles Cotton Bowl bound Notre Dame. NCAA excitement Saturday.
That, of course, coming your way on Saturday. But on Friday, Penn State will battle the Panthers of Pittsburgh. Joe Paterno with the #1 ranked team in the nation. He wants to win that #1 ranking on the football field. They've accepted the Sugar Bowl. They hope to meet #2 ranked Alabama down there. Joe Paterno has just turned out superb players, superb people from that fine school over the years. The 17-yard line. Miami takes possession. Is tied at 7. 12:49 remaining in the first half. Dell Williams was designed to go inside. He has the speed to break outside, and he just does a lot of things other folks can't do. And he gets out over the 20-yard line to the 23-yard line. Stopped by Greg Rick out there, and I'll tell you, this man, Dell Williams, is playing hurt tonight. He has a very sore neck. He did not work much this week. Sore ribs, and you're looking at what he did over the early part of the year and becoming the NFL's leading rusher.
That was a mistake there. It said New York Giants. Of course, the first game was against the Jets, a 33-20 defeat for Miami by the Jets, who've been a surprise team all year.
He got 7. Harris gets the call on the 2nd down and 3. And Harris moves out over the 25-yard line to the 27. He has a Miami first down.
Frank, the thing about Williams that's so impressive is his durability. He is apparently not susceptible to injury, at least reasonably so. Everybody is susceptible, of course.
I've watched him over the years, Howard. He never gets in trouble. He's like Jim Brown. All the great ones really never get in trouble with their body. They have their feet on the ground. They have balance. Just paid off in some great years for him. Over 1,200 yards in 76 with the 49ers, over 977, and now over 1,000 again with Miami. On 1st and 10. Gracie, man open is Williams. And Dell takes it out to the 33-yard line. Pickup of 7.
There's Shula. Remember we said Williams could run, he could block, he could catch. And you'll find Gracie using him at unexpected moments, such as he just did. Coming off a run 2 plays earlier, effective run, and now a receiver.
Shula gave up a #1 draft pick, a 5th round pick, a safety man, a good one. Vern Roberson gave up a wide receiver, a good one, Freddie Sullivan, and you're witnessing exactly why he made that decision tonight. 2nd down, we'll call it 4. Inside handoff. Harris finds an opening. Harris has the first down and twists loose at the 40 and gets to the 42.
Harris is the kind of back who'll consistently fool you out of Arkansas State. Look at it again. He doesn't have the quick beginning speed, apparently, but it's much quicker than you think. And then he has the strength to shake tackles, as he just did there.
You'll see the block by Ed Newman, number 64. And it was a beauty. Kuchenberg with his fine block. Bob Kuchenberg's quite a story, and Pro Bowler at left guard. When Wayne Moore got hurt this year, he moved out to left tackle.
He's going to make it a tackle
move, and he might make the Pro Bowl at left tackle for Miami. Super football player in his 9th year out of Notre Dame, Bob Kuchenberg. On 1st and 10. Harris is bowling forward behind Newman, Langer, Larry Little. Gets out close to the 44-yard line. A gain of 3. It'll be 2nd and 7.
Now, to put this in perspective for you, because these teams are so evenly matched. Greg Bingham right there, a great linebacker, underpublicized. Frank told you about 52 right there, Brazil. Kiner is figured in several of Frank's calls. But to put it in perspective, watch the way Greasy mixes up his calls. He is an absolute master, changing his backs on the running, using them as receivers, using the wide receivers, and suddenly he'll go to 87, Tillman, the tight end. Watch.
2nd and 7. Flag is down. Greasy hangs it high to Duriel Harrison. It bounces out of his hands. Incomplete, but again, flag is down at the line of scrimmage. Tell you another thing Greasy will do as a procedure call goes against Miami. If he's in control of a game, he won't keep you up late at night. He is methodical, as you said, Howard, using his runners.
He is
the little short pass that keeps that clock rolling.
There is no slicker, more polished.
Right side of the offensive line was not set. Penalty refused. 3rd down.
There is no slicker, more polished, more imperturbable quarterback than Greasy. It will not show anguish. The ball was laid right into Harris. 82 missed it, but the call was against his team anyway. He'll go back to work.
Interesting decision on Houston. It shows you the confidence they have in their defense.
Right.
They turned down the penalty that would have given Miami a 3rd down and 11. They now have a 3rd down and 7. Greasy, he'll go to the sidelines. Down he goes. He could not get there. And he is down back at the 39. And a wise decision on the part of Houston.
Elvin Bethea, the great veteran. An early draft choice by Don Klosterman when he was the general manager of Houston. An all-pro any number of times. So steady. There he is. So consistent. Great, great player.
George Roberts comes out on 4th down. The decision I told you a moment ago was either a 3rd and 7 or 2nd and 11, and it really paid off for Houston. They have great faith in that defense. Roberts hits it. Deep is Merkins. And Merkins takes the ball, does not fair catch, and he's jarred loose from the football. They get it back, however. Courier was down there.
Flag down.
The flag is down. And Courier came up with the ball. I think that might just be a hat to mark where the hit was made. But the safety man hustled down there for Houston. And, of course, Bill Courier.
Correction, no penalty. 1st down.
You're right, Frank.
Here it is. This is a very chancy move, and it should have been the responsibility of number 20 to tell Merkins to call for a fair catch, because he can see what's happening. Merkins is looking up to the top of this dome. He doesn't know how close they are, and maybe Merkins did order the fair catch, or whether Courier ordered the fair catch and Merkins just disregarded it. But anyway, it was fortunate for Houston. They recovered. They have a 1st down, the ball at their 13-yard line. Pastorini, play action. Dewey is in there with him, and a flag is down. Barber was deep downfield, and running stride for stride was Norris Thomas, and they collided. A flag is down.
41, Norris Thomas, the free agent who gave back his bonus the first year when he couldn't make the club. Came back, one of the best cornerbacks in the league, but he did interfere on that play.
Number 25, defense, interference, 1st down.
And the call goes against Foley.
Foley. Let's look at this again. I thought clearly it was Thomas. No, there's Foley.
There's Foley and Thomas.
Pushed off him.
Both in a pushing match, deep downfield. 1st down, Houston. Their own 49-yard line. A 36-yard, in effect 36-yard penalty.
Timmy pushed off.
8:19 remaining in the 1st half. Here comes a reverse. And ending up with him is Mike Renfro. And Renfro, with a nifty bit of running, gets close to the 42-yard line. And it could be close to a 1st down. And a little rookie out of TCU, the son of a great football player in the 50s and 60s with Cleveland, Ray Renfro. Let's look at it again. Castro first.
Look at it again. Castro's been used on the end around any number of times this year.
And here comes Renfro.
But this time handing off to Renfro, whom Otis Taylor has said within the next 3 years will be the best wide receiver in the NFL. You know about Renfro, you know about his dad, you know his history. Houston is now red hot.
Short of a first down. It'll be second and short. The ball at the 42-yard line. Play action. Screen goes to Renfro. He's got the first down. And he gets inside the 35-yard line to the 34. This little man, 6 feet, 184-pounder, set a couple of Southwest Conference records as we take a look at him. His dad has got to be awfully proud of him, but he had 162 receptions over his career, 17 touchdowns, 2,739 yards, those Southwest Conference records.
What a steal he was, Frank.
Down here.
What a steal he was on the 4th round. Less than 7 minutes left in the half.
Ball at the 34-yard line. Tim Wilson and Campbell with a block, but breaking through number 877, A.J. Dewey. Pickup of a couple. It'll be second down and 8. Here's A.J. Dewey. We told you about that knee surgery. That took place in a game that Howard and I covered back in August, the Hall of Fame game. And he had surgery August the 3rd. And he's back to the form that he showed last year when he was NFL's Defensive Rookie of the Year. Second-year man from Rutgers. Second down 8. Pastorini, good play action. Goes to Kenny Burrow. First down. Inside the 20 at the 17.
How measured, how purposeful Pastorini has become as a quarterback. All of the NFL players looking on tonight know exactly what I mean. He knows how to mix his stuff up now. He's got the touch. He can loft the ball. There's Burrow isolated. On the record, looking at all of the figures, number of receptions, yards gained per reception, and so on, Burrow has to be in the top 3 of the NFL. A great receiver. And Pastorini using them all well.
On first and 10, Campbell left side, and Campbell rumbles inside the 15-yard line. Gain of 3. It'll be second down and 7. Bum Phillips looking on. Flashes something out to Pastorini. And, of course, this man who has become the 3rd winningest coach in the history of this game. In 16 years, he's averaged a little over 11 victories a season in NFL competition. That's truly remarkable. They're just inside the 15 on second down and 7. Both backs out of the backfield. Lays it out of the end zone. He was looking to his tight end Barber.
Threw it away.
Well covered by Gordon of the Dolphins. Looked for Castor. Castor was covered. Threw it away.
Victimized by a late rush. Did the right thing. Threw it away. Wasn't going to give up the yardage with a sack. He's grown a lot, this man.
This Oiler offensive unit, as a matter of fact, leads the entire NFL through 11 games in preventing their quarterback from being sacked. And a lot of it has to do, again, with Pastorini calling not the long plays that he used to call for so many years. He has Earl Campbell. Now he doesn't have to. He has another fine wide receiver in Renfro. He has Rich Castor. He has a lot of tools. Third down, 7. Barber. Touchdown, Houston. And Pastorini started to run. He looked up. 86 was there. Dumped it off. 6 points. The Oilers.
I want to tell you something. 3 people blitzed on that play. Pastorini read it. He slipped through. And all alone was his tight end, Mike Barber. He had a quick glimpse of Shula. He knows exactly what happened. Right there.
Tell you a little bit about Barber. He came up a couple of years ago. He missed his entire rookie year with tendonitis. And this year he has really come to form. He came back and only had 9 receptions a year ago. And he had 27 coming into the night. And he has been the key man in the 2 Houston scores. 3 passes he's caught tonight, 56 yards. Tony Fritz for the conversion. Houston out in front. 4:45 remaining in the first half. And here's a good look at Mike Barber out of Louisiana Tech and living up to what they thought he'd be when he came up as a rookie a couple of years ago. We'll be right back.
I sell insurance. Up to now, I've never used a computer.
A computer would help, but I'm not a programmer.
In real estate, I can't take months to learn to use a computer.
In this IBM classroom, we've just taught those people to use a computer in 3 hours.
Because IBM researchers have developed a new technique called QBE, Query by Example. It's easy to use. Once the basic information is in the computer, you can ask for it, organized the way it would be on paper, in tables like this.
I want to see which of my salesmen are doing better than average in sales quota. I develop a simple table. There's my answer.
QBE is really easy to learn, and it's going to help to control my costs.
These days, that's important.
We at IBM are in a competitive industry. We work hard to make our products do more for less money. And part of that is making them easier to use, too. IBM, helping put information to work for people.
Tuesday, a bullet breaks up the team, and Starsky gets a new partner.
There they are.
College crowd.
Now you hear the song. They're going crazy here in Houston.
The greatest football team.
You hear this?
Tony Fritz nails it. This will be Durrell Harris. And they're about to cut their song short as Harris turns the corner and gets out to the 40-yard line. Fine return, taken out of bounds by Bill Courier.
Yes, they're going crazy in Houston, but the Oilers, showing their comeback capacity from a quick Miami touchdown, have taken a 14-7 lead, but they're against a great football team. There is no better offensive team in the NFL than the Miami Dolphins. And as I said, this is the kind of game we expected. 4:32 left in the half. Let's see what Greasy does with his team, with the clock, with the Oilers.
Harris with a return out to the 41-yard line. Looked like he was trapped back at the 20. Miami, good field position. Andre Tillman adjusts. Easy, both backs out. Fires out, Durrell Harris. Fighting for a first down at midfield. This will be dependent upon where it's marked. He was in the arms of Greg Stemrick. Durrell Harris, who came in tonight's game, along with Nat Moore, with 32 receptions. The two of them had 10 touchdowns between them. Nat Moore got the first touchdown for Miami. So he has 9. The first down is accomplished by Harris at the 49-yard line. First and 10, Miami. Bob Greasy, number 1 rated quarterback in the NFL, hurt his knee, final preseason game this year, missed 5 games, back as strong as ever. Nat Moore in motion. Del Williams. Down goes Del Williams. Ted Washington, number 59, was there first. He got a little help from his inside linebacker, number 57, Steve Kiner. There's a loss back to the 48-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 12.
Look at that sign. Look out, America. Here comes Houston. Why not? Together with Atlanta, it's one of the 2 greatest growing cities in this country. And they've got a feel for this team. They've waited a long time for professional football excellence in Houston. They've got it this year.
It's 2nd and long. This is the down that Houston likes to shoot the linebackers. Norm Bulash is in as one setback now, along with Del Williams. And they were coming, and a flag goes down as Elvin Bethea was just a little too eager. You saw the bottom of your screen, number 65. Move a little early.
You sure call that right.
Oh, they were wrong.
Induced. You sure call that wrong. It was induced. But that can happen.
Being marked off. Here's the call. Obviously going to go against Kuchenberg.
Illegal procedure, number 67 offense, 2nd down.
Bob Kuchenberg, left tackle. He can't move once he's set. Well, he moved his foot back just as Greasy was pulling away. Good call.
He induced the encroachment by Bethea. At least that's the way the officials call it.
Situation remains defensively, however, for Houston. Second and long. Second and 17. The ball at the 44-yard line. Greasy knows also that they come in this situation. And around, this is Nat Moore. Great open field tackle, Robert Brazil. That's hard to do against somebody like Nat Moore, but this is a very special football player, Robert Brazil.
That's why Frank talked about Brazil at the very opening of the telecast. A #1 draft choice. A teammate of Walter Payton's out of Jackson State.
You know, I'll have to tell you how quick Nat Moore is. And Robert Brazil is 6'4", nearly 240 pounds, just almost as nifty as he is. Put his sights right on the waistline, never deviated with any of the moves of the arms and the legs. Perfect tackle. Nat Moore
got shook up a little bit, but it was a good surprise call by Greasy.
He was looking for a blitz, in which case there would have been 7 of the Oilers into his backfield. If Moore could have turned the corner, it could have been a big play. Third down, 14. Ball at the 46-yard line. Gary Davis back in with Norm Bulash for Miami. Jimmy Cephalo, flank wide to the right. Looking for Duriel Harris. Harris jarred but holds on down at the 32-yard line. First down Miami, and that was a great catch.
What a great play. A perfectly thrown ball by Greasy and a stunning catch by Duriel Harris. You're looking at it, coming right at you.
Greasy will take him in full stride.
Oh. And boy, was he hit by number 37, Mike Reinfeldt, who's been playing a great game.
That's hard to hold on to.
Oh.
The first down.
Nobody
inside
knows
the 33-yard line.
Nobody knows better than you, Giff, how hard it is to hold on to.
They will not get the playoff. The 2-minute warning sounded. The Oilers 14-7 over the Dolphins. A nifty football game. We hope you're enjoying it. We'll be right back.
Solidness and friendliness. You like the likes of Opal. Nimbleness and spaciousness. You like the likes of Opal.
There are lots of things to like about our trusty little Opal, like tender, loving workmanship. So if you're looking for a great Japanese car, look for a great American name.
You like the likes, the sheer delights. You like the likes of Opal.
Wendy's presents hot and juicy hamburgers. If you've ever had a dry, chewy hamburger, you're gonna love Wendy's hot and juicy hamburgers. Wendy's hot and juicy hamburgers, made only of 100% pure, fresh beef.
Back in the Astrodome, Frank Gifford along with Howard Cosell, the Miami Dolphins, down by 7 points to the Houston Oilers. 2 minutes remaining in the first half. The Dolphins with the 1st and 10. Ball just inside the 33-yard line of the Houston Oilers. A great catch by number 82, Duriel Harris, one of the gifted outside receivers of the Miami Dolphins. Gave them a first down at this position. Harris goes out to the right. Nat Moore to the left. Bob Greasy has all of his timeouts, 3 with which to work. Harris, screen. And Leroy Harris steps out of bounds. He had Newman out in front of him on the screen, and Newman got a block. Harris moves down to about the 24-yard line. A gain of 8. It'll be 2nd down and 2.
You're looking at Bum Phillips, whose team is at 7-4. His quest for the playoffs very much alive. The game means so much to him. And for Don Shula, a chance to tie New England. Right there is Don with Carl Tassett, one of his assistants, for first in the AFC East. And they meet New England in our wind-up Monday Night Football game of the year. Gift
2nd and 2. Handoff. Williams gets the first down around the 21-yard line. Ted Washington in there on the stop.
And if you're a pro football fan, no matter which team you're rooting for, it doesn't matter. The kind of playing you see tonight has to excite you. And if you're watching Bob Greasy, that was Delvin, and he's got 8 for 45 yards. He may yet hit 100. You've got to admire that quarterback. He knows how to move a team, how to use the clock.
Seconds ticking off. Greasy, he's been there before. There's no rush, no pressure. Duriel Harris put the arms out. He could not quite reach it. It was close to 6.
Now, Bob is not happy with himself. He had Duriel. A perfectly thrown ball. You see Don Shula shaking his head. He also had number 87, Andre Tillman, the tight end, whom he's not yet used tonight, alone underneath. And the tight end, 87, may be the man to watch on this series of downs.
Clock stop, 1:16. Good defensive maneuver by Willie Alexander. He was right with Duriel Harris. The ball would have had to have been perfectly thrown.
That's right.
And it was not incomplete. Clock stop, 1:16, second down 10. Norm Bulash is in with Del Williams. Bulash a better receiver than Leroy Harris. Consequently, Don Shula uses him in passing deals. Del Williams. And Del Williams has a first down inside the 10-yard line. And this man can do just about anything you want on the football field. We've even seen him throw a couple of nice blocks tonight for Harris. First and goal.
Dr. Cooley performed, as you look at Del, the open heart surgery, a very famous surgeon on Leonard Toast. But Bob Greasy, in his own way, performed surgery on the opposition. Just a beautiful, beautiful quarterback to watch.
Del Williams moving out of bounds inside the 8-yard line, stops the clock with 1:09 remaining in the first half. It's 14-7 over the Oilers. Miami is threatening. Both backs out of the backfield. Greasy fires out to Bulash, and he gets inside the 2-yard line.
Big Bo.
And now Bob Greasy will use one of his timeouts. So Bulash has moved Miami even closer to the 2-yard line. Greasy will go over to confer with Don Shula, and we'll be back in a moment.
The Computer Society. It's big news everywhere, and now it's in color TV. Computer Color 330, new from Magnavox. Computer Color 330, the all-electronic color system with 25% more lines of resolution. That means a sharper, crisper color picture than ever before possible. Touch tune television with Computer Color 330, new from Magnavox.
I can't say my son and I have the same taste, but I want the performance and dependability he's been getting from his tires in my tires. That's why I bought the Advantage. Best radial BF Goodrich ever made. Excellent mileage and amazing ride and handling.
3 years of art school. The Advantage. Just one tire from the best line of radials ever made by BF Goodrich. The other guys.
Back in the Astrodome, 1 minute and 1 second remaining in the first half. The Miami Dolphins have moved to the 2-yard line of the Houston Oilers. The key play, a great catch by Duriel Harris out around the 25-yard line. Got them out of trouble, a long yardage situation. Bulash has just taken his first reception of the night and moved inside the 2. It's second and goal. Harris back in. A running tandem of Del Williams, 24, Leroy Harris, number 38. Miami with 2 timeouts. Del Williams moves ever closer to the goal line. I don't believe he got in. He'll be right.
He's right at
the goal line.
Right at it.
Let's take a look from our sideline camera. Harris leading the way. Like all good backs, Del Williams lowering the shoulder to keep them away from his legs. Tried to put the ball across the goal line, but they mark it inches short.
Inches away. 34 seconds left, counting down. Greasy's got 2 timeouts left.
Del Williams, touchdown Miami. They're within 1 of tying it up.
What a football game this is. Repeat, everything we expect. 2 superbly matched teams. 2 likely playoff entrants. Look at it again.
He just has to cross the plane of the goal line. That's 6. Referee, of course, headlinesman right on the goal line. You can see it yourself. a few scattered boos, but of course this is a partisan and a wildly enthusiastic Houston Oiler crowd. Stroud will hold for Garo Yepremian in his attempt to tie up this game at 21 seconds remaining in the first half. Remind you, halftime highlights of some wild happenings around the NFL yesterday coming your way at halftime, so stay with us. It's all tied at 14. It figured to be this way, and that's how it is with 21 seconds remaining in the half, 14-14.
That's my team, the Miami Dolphins. Hi, I'm Steve Toll of the Miami Dolphins. I'd like to tell you about one of the wonders of our Florida Gold Coast. Just a few miles off these beaches, there's a giant river in the ocean that brings warmth to our city throughout the year. It's called the Gulf Stream, and it makes this a magic city. These people are part of the magic of Miami, too. They live here, they work here, and they're here to help. They work at the United Way's Information Referral Service. It's called INR. This little computer has the answers to 6,000 different problems, people problems that can happen to any one of us. And INR doesn't forget. It followed up on thousands of cases last year to make sure people get the help they need. Does United Way work in Miami? Just ask the thousands of people here who know it does. United Way works in your town, too. Thanks to you, it works for all of us, United Way.
The preceding announcement was brought to you as a public service by Steve Toll of the Miami Dolphins and the National Football League.
That's got to be Bob Greasy. Right there. What a quarterback. No words to express my admiration for that young man's talents.
Yepremian dribbles it along the ground, taken there at the 38-yard line by Kurt Knopf. Clock showing 18 seconds. And well, we'll see what Pastorini wants to do, because he may attempt to move close enough for a field goal. He has timeouts to work with, and he has 18 seconds.
And at halftime, we're going to see the unbelievable finish to that Giants game. Now, Frank was one of the greatest Giants ever to play the game. Oh, there's a welcome to us. Thank you. And it is the fastest growing city in America. It's now the 5th market, and it's a great, great town.
Miami in a prevent. Pastorini says no, and he gives it to Earl Campbell, who gets out over the 50-yard line into Miami territory, down around the 48-yard line. Pastorini quickly calls timeout. That play used 6 seconds. There's 12 seconds on the clock. And Pastorini coming with the draw play. Miami in a prevent defense, and it's very difficult to defense against that draw.
Well, he's
planning on rushing the passer.
He's got to get a quick pop of Frank to get within Fritch's range for the field goal attempt. With 12 seconds left, he can do it. Still, Miami was right to have Yepremian kick the way he did to prevent the risk of a long run back.
Rich Castor is in there as the measurement is being taken at the field now. Campbell close to the first down. Castor, of course, made a key catch last week for a touchdown to pull the Houston Oilers from, well, they made a remarkable comeback. They were down 23-7 at halftime. And they came back and won that game 26-23. It was Castor's touchdown catch with 2:39 left in that game. But he's in the ball game. He was quite a steal for the Oilers. They had to give up a couple of 7th-round draft picks for number 88, who right now is at the bottom of your screen. Second and short, you saw how much. Campbell now 12 yards short of 1,000 on the season. Barber is there and is picked off. Picked off by Rick Vogt, his 4th interception of the year. And boy, I'll tell you, these two guys back there, Foley and Vogt, are having great years. Vogt, of course, much traveled. He was an all-pro for Don Shula at Baltimore, 66 and 6, and just remarkable athlete.
As I said before, I never thought he'd come back from the hit he suffered by 41 Matt Snell of the Jets in the Super Bowl game of January 12, 67. They rushed him to the hospital. Not only has he come back, he's regained his old efficiency. As for Tim Foley, he used to be a cornerback, but now at strong safety, lacking some of his earlier speed when the Dolphins were an unbeaten team. He is doing a superb job.
And he had to, because Norris Thomas just took that job over and moved him to strong safety, where he is doing a superb job. This will run the clock out, Del Williams. Ted Washington takes him out of bounds, but the clock had expired. So, at the end of the first half, it's 14-14, and we'll be ready for our halftime highlights after this message and a word from our local stations.
When you break horses for a living and you do it wrong, they can break you first.
They seem to have come together after Ship left.
Garrow hits the ball to open the second half. And dropped by Larry Poole, and recovers and takes off. And Larry Poole all the way out to the 37-yard line, where he's stopped by Norris Thomas. And once again, we anticipate a lineup of Pastorini at quarterback, Tim Wilson, 45, Earl Campbell, number 34, Rich Castor or Mike Renfro, one wide receiver. 82 is Renfro, 88 is Castor. 00 is Kim Burrow, of course, Mike Barber, who had a big first half at the tight end. As the Oilers have a 1st and 10, the ball marked at their 37-yard line.
Instant field position. And let's see if Miami is capable of a good second half. Shula talked about it. That's his worry.
Campbell needs 12 yards to become a rookie 1,000-yard gainer. He gets the first call, and he moves out over the 40-yard line for a gain of 2.5 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 8.
And all season long, Houston's strength has been the comeback capacity in the second half. This time, it's not a comeback. They're tied, but they've been a great second half team.
Pastorini brings the Oilers up. Looks over a 2nd down and 8. Bob Matheson was checked in defensively for Miami. He wears number 53, the veteran defensive linebacker. Earl Campbell breaks one tackle, and this is what he does so well. Breaks a tackle right at the line of scrimmage, gets a first down, 49-yard line of the Oilers.
Watch him again.
He bounces right off Rusty Chambers, I believe it is, right here. There's the collision. No, it's Bob Matheson. Breaks to the outside.
He's over 1,000 yards now. We've described it as crunching power.
Well, he did that annually at the University of Texas. That what an offensive machine.
First AFC rookie since 74.
Campbell will get home. He just really powdered one of the Miami Dolphins, and he gets a couple of yards out of nothing over in the left side.
He just boulders them over. Nobody as a rookie had done it since Don Woods did it for San Diego in 74. Gained 1,000 yards.
University of Texas, he had 3 200-yard games and 18 100-yard games. He did it inside, he did it outside. And he gets a couple at 2nd down and 8. The ball in Miami Dolphin territory as we're just underway in the second half. Pastorini in the end around is Mike Barber, the tight end. Barber with some nifty footwork gets an Oiler first down.
What a game Mike Barber is having. You've seen him in every capacity. He's one of the contemporary tight ends in that he's a deep threat as well as a short threat. He's a tight end who can move. You're looking at him there with the cowboy hat and the beard and the mustache. And right there you saw the foot speed for a tight end on that, in effect, end around. And that sign, that's what every Oiler fan wants here tonight.
They're having a lot of fun. It's really quite a crowd. They're watching a super football game. The first down close to the 35-yard line of the Dolphins. Play action. Pastorini hiding the ball well. Goes to Rich Castor. And Castor out of bounds at the 11-yard line. Norris Thomas came up, but he was too late as Pastorini threaded the needle, and he hit that ball so well that this has got to make those linebackers think for a moment. There you saw Beaucamper frozen. He could not get back there to help Norris Thomas. And there's Castor.
What superb use they've made of Richard Castor. It's hard to believe that this antelope-striding man could have been obtained for 2 7th-round draft choices. Yes, he had problems with the Jets. He didn't hold the football that well. This is a highly intelligent, articulate man, a man of mentality who's always known what he could do. He never had the self-belief. With Houston, he's found it.
Doris Thomas was shaken up defensively for the Miami Dolphins. He comes out, and Charles Cornelius comes in. And now it's Gerald Small at the corner, a rookie from San Jose State, at the left cornerback, number 48. First and 10. The ball just outside the 10-yard line, and Tim Wilson gets the call, and Tim Wilson gets down close to the 7-yard line.
Frank, you have to be impressed as you look at Bum Phillips by his confidence in Pastorini and about the development this year at a late stage of Pastorini as a
Howard, I've said it over and over. It's just the Pastorini has never had the tools that he has now to work with. And, of course, the big tool is the man, number 34, Earl Campbell. He does not have to throw deep to Burrow. He does not get behind like they have in the past, even though they have come from behind 6 or 7 wins. Second down, forget it. That's what he can do now.
Oh, boy.
Touchdown, Houston, Earl Campbell.
What a game. What a performance by this whole Houston team. The offensive line, Earl Campbell, Pastorini, Mike Bum, Rick Cast, the whole team. And the crowd is beside itself. Look at them. On their feet as one. The pom-poms going. It's like Super Bowl night or day.
And I'll tell you how this man has fit in, the great All-American Heisman Award winner. They love him here. His teammates, well, they just can't believe how real he is. And Houston has again taken the lead, 21-14. Take a look at it again. You've watched him go up the middle, bowling over tacklers. This time he turns on that great speed for a big man, out to the outside, gets the block from his setback, and in for the end zone.
Make it happy times and smiling faces, holding hands in favorite places. Make it Buick. After all, life is to enjoy.
The new 1979 Buick Regal. It's good-looking, smooth riding, V6 powered, very comfortable. And your Buick dealer's most popular car, Regal.
Look around. There's really nothing quite like a Buick.
It took Beethoven 4 years to write that symphony. Some things can't be rushed. Good music and good wine. Paul Masson's Emerald Dry. A delicious white wine. Paul Masson wines taste so good because they're made with such care. What Paul Masson himself said nearly a century ago is still true today. We will sell no wine before it's time.
Friday, a special telecast at 1 o'clock Eastern. Sugar Bowl bound #1. Penn State battles top-ranked Pittsburgh. Friday afternoon on ABC.
Earl Campbell has just scored again for Houston. They lead 21-14. Super football game. We hope you're relaxed, sitting back and enjoying it. 2 of the finest in the NFL today. Miami needs a victory to move back into a tie with the New England Patriots. They close out their season December 18th with New England. Will be there for that one. Houston, of course, is battling to stay close to Pittsburgh with an eye on one of those wild cards. And this is Dorial Harris. Harris, down he goes out at the 22-yard line. Miami will start deep in their own territory. You saw what's coming your way on Friday. Well, be sure to be with us Saturday for exciting doubleheader action. It begins at 12:30 Eastern Time Saturday with the battle for the Rose Bowl when Michigan meets Ohio State. That, of course, followed at 4 Eastern Time when USC hosts Notre Dame. That's all over most of these ABC stations.
Nothing but bowl teams. USC in the Rose Bowl. Notre Dame in the Cotton Bowl. The winner of the Buckeyes against the Wolverines to the Rose Bowl against the Trojans. Only on ABC this Saturday.
Bob Greasy brings them up. 11:44 remaining in the third quarter. He's down by a touchdown and a conversion. Del Williams dropped the ball.
Oh, boy! That
could never had possession of it. Brazil is in there.
Nope, Miami held.
Del Williams hustles back and finds the handle.
That could have been a turning point for the whole contest. Now remember, we told you Houston's a hot team in the second half. They proved it with the immediate drive, the immediate touchdown. Miami has been a cold team in the second half. And I just saw a kind of shrug from Shula. Let's see if Miami can pull itself together. A great football game.
You saw Del Williams and Bob Greasy had a quick word back there. Something was not terribly coordinated. Loss of a yard, second down and 11. Nat Moore is in motion. Greasy floods his backs to the left. And then he goes out into the flat as Harris. And Leroy Harris out of bounds, out of the 27-yard line in the arms of Ted Washington, short of the first down, but it'll bring up a third down and 4. His 10th rushing touchdown of the season. 3 of them we saw when Houston upset the previously undefeated Pittsburgh Steelers 4 weeks ago. That's over the history of the
10
National Football League.
Frank, 10 rushing touchdowns for a rookie. As a rookie, Cookie Gilchrist had 13. Campbell, as you look at him, simply an exceptional athlete. Great play.
Boulash is in, Harris is out. We've said it before, Boulash a little better receiver than Harris. So Greasy goes to the air. And here he goes, Denorm Boulash. And Boulash has the Miami first down.
Oh, boy.
Ted Washington taken out of bounds out of the 37-yard line where it'll be first down Miami.
Greasy is really working over those Houston linebackers. There's Big Boo.
Drafted by Shula. Remember Howard way back there? He was number one pick?
No. Number 1 pick by Klosterman and Rosenthal when they took over the Colts. And the coach was McCaffrey. I'm sorry, Frank. I didn't mean to do that.
First and 10. The ball at the 37. Del Williams. Out over the 40 to the 42-yard line. A gain of 5. It'll be second and 5.
Frank, I think you'll agree this is the test of a team and a quarterback to come back from that quick Houston score.
Well, we've watched this seesaw back and forth all night. Neither team has choked, panicked in any way, and of course they won't. 2 solid football clubs. Second and 5, the ball at the 42. And handoff. Harris, he drops the ball. And all over it is Mike Reinfeldt. Houston recovers at the 43-yard line.
That's the turnover that Houston was waiting for.
First turnover of the night. And Houston could really sting Miami if they can get in from here.
And once again, Mike Reinfeldt on the scene, all over the field tonight. What a game. We'll be right back.
Ben Crenshaw's game takes concentration. So does mine. That's why I use the Canon AE1. It's fully automatic, so I can concentrate on my shots. And with the automatic winder, the camera really does all the work. You try it, Ben.
Are you serious?
The Canon AE1 is so easy to use. About all you do is focus and click.
The surprisingly affordable Canon AE1. So advanced, it's simple.
You don't have to lose.
Team lead.
Right here, Houston can take command of this football game. Now the Miami defense has to prove itself, which it has not done in second half play this year.
Earl Campbell rolls up close to the 40-yard line. A gain of 2. It'll be second down and 8. Well, you kind of run out of superlatives as we see A.J. Dewey untangled from that tackle on Earl Campbell. He is something else. We're going to pause 5 seconds and allow the station along the line to identify themselves. Thumb Phillips looks on, doesn't like what he sees, an illegal procedure call being assessed against the Oilers.
Formation on the offense.
You know, I looked down there earlier and I saw that the outside man had not lined up on the line of scrimmage, and they get the call. 5-yard penalty. First down, 15. Earl Campbell, single setback. Rich Castor comes in, the extra wide receiver. Campbell gets the call, running low to the ground. Skips forward, gets back to the original line of scrimmage where it's marked as he sprawls forward to the 40. Tripped up by Bob Baumauer.
What an illustrative play of that young man's determination. Down and crawling. Nobody's going to stop him. Nobody.
Second down, 10. Burrow split out to the left. Conrad Rucker is in now, along with Mike Renfro. Play action by Pastorini, going for Renfro. And what a great pass by Pastorini. He was hit just as he released the ball. The blitz was on by Rusty Chambers. He threw it, and it was a spot pass. Watch this.
But it was too little, too late. Renfro all alone. And the Oilers are rolling.
Campbell. Wilson with another terrific block, but a great play by Larry Gordon. Up ends Campbell after a gain of 1. Well, we've been watching this Tim Wilson put some crushing blocks on tonight for Earl Campbell, and you saw a great defensive play by Larry Gordon there to stop the big man, well, literally at the line of scrimmage. Gordon, probably the best of that group right now for Miami. Teams run away from him. Number 50 for the Dolphins. Second down and 10. Pastorini doesn't like what's happening. Calls timeout. He'll move over to the Houston Oilers bench. 8:48 remaining in the third quarter. We'll be back after this message.
Down in Texas, we have a saying. It's not the size of the dog in the fight. It's the size of the fight in the dog. So when you see this little Black & Decker 5.5-inch circular saw in your store, don't be fooled. It's smaller and lighter than other saws, so you can handle it easily. But inside, it's pure teeth. The 5.5er from Black & Decker. Small, light, and very tough.
Finesse and prettiness, you like the likes of Opal. Roominess and coziness, you like the likes of Opal.
There are lots of things to like about our trusty little Opal, like tender, loving workmanship. So if you're looking for a great Japanese car, look for a great American name.
You like the likes, the sheer delight. You like the likes of Opal.
We have 8:48 remaining in the third quarter. The Houston Oilers, with a fumble by Leroy Harris, a recovery by Mike Reinfeldt, have advanced the ball down to the 28-yard line. They have a second down and 10. The Oilers leading 21-14. It's been a seesaw game. We've had one turnover. It could play a vital role in the outcome of this game tonight. A lot of football left. We hope you're enjoying. Two teams playing right at the peak of their form tonight. Earl Campbell, single setback. Campbell gets the call, right side, in and out of the arms of Dan Herter, who holds on, but Campbell still stretches it for 4. It'll be 3rd and 6.
He's finally stopped by Rusty Chambers, 51, who's a good tackler. But to show you, this game tonight, Houston, 3 touchdowns, marches of 70, 87, and 63 yards. Miami, 2 touchdowns, marches of 82 and 59 yards. 1 turnover, which has given Houston this scoring opportunity. Tremendous football game.
Campbell out, Coleman in, probably for better receiving core. Coleman, a good receiver. You saw him in the first quarter, and he gets the call again. The flag is down as Coleman gets beyond the first down marker, but several flags flew at the same moment. And it's going to work against Houston. So the Oilers, with an infraction, will lose the first down.
I thought it was against Mike Barber, number 86. He came down and appeared to screen the defender. Let's wait for the call. I said 1 turnover. There's been 1 turnover for each team. But the critical one.
Pass interference, number 86.
That's it, Mike Barber.
3rd down, 16. The ball back to the 33-yard line of the Miami Dolphins. Hero goes to the left. Out there with him, number 48 is Gerald Small, the rookie. Out to the right is number 82, Mike Renfro. Castor is a tight end, number 88, top of your screen. Going for Barber. And the battle was on in the end zone with Rick Volk and Mike Barber, incomplete.
Rick Volk continues to show that he's back. I mean, right back where he belongs.
Fourth down, Howard, the decision on the sidelines.
Playing a terrific game. There's Ricky. You know, Rick Volk reminds me of, folks, in a way, Frank Gifford, who came back from that terrible shot from Chuck Bednarik, changed positions, became a flanker from a running back. And Rick Volk has come back in the same way after a brutal injury.
The discussion on the bench was whether or not Tony Fritsch could reach it with a field goal. They finally say no, and they bring out Cliff Parsley.
That's a wise decision.
Cephalo is deep. Davis back there. Charlie Babb is back for Miami, but Parsley will look for the sidelines. Charlie Babb is at the 10-yard line. A nail right there. Maybe gets out to the 11.
He was wise to catch it, Frank, because it would have gone out of bounds at about the 8.
I want to tell you quickly about college football coming your way Thanksgiving Day weekend on Friday. It's going to be a doubleheader, of course, but a Friday, Pittsburgh against Penn State. 1 o'clock Eastern time. Penn State, ranked number 1 in the nation. They want to win it on the field. They're going to shoot Sugar Bowl, and they hope to meet Alabama down there. They're ranked number 2. They're undefeated 10 straight. Pittsburgh, of course, 8-2, 13th in the AP. And then Saturday, a doubleheader, Michigan against Ohio State. Michigan and Ohio State battling for the Rose Bowl there. And that will be followed by Notre Dame against USC, that traditional meeting, the 50th meeting of those two schools. We don't have to tell you about that. If you follow college football, there have been some great games. College football on Turkey weekend. First and 10, Miami. And trouble on the part of Del Williams. He was in the end zone, I believe, momentarily. But they were blitzing in on him.
Bob Brazil.
And this is what Houston does best, and the man who's doing it leads his team not only in tackles, but in sacks. Williams saw something he did not like to the right side, turned right into the arms of Brazil, and is dropped back at the 4-yard line. Second down, 17. The ball at the 4-yard line.
What a test Greasy faces here and now. Sure, impassive, but clearly worried.
Nat Moore split to the left. Inside handoff, and Harris is hit by guess who? Robert Brazil, because there are few, if any, players hit like Brazil. Watch him again. He just reads it so beautifully.
Rarely will you see 2 unassisted tackles consecutively, such as you've just seen. A brilliant football player, Bob Brazil.
Harris gets out to the 8. Third down, 13. 6:25 remaining in the third quarter. Oilers leading 21-14. Del Williams. Look at Del Williams. And he gets the first down. 13 plus out to the 28-yard line. And this is why this man has been so valuable to this ball club.
And this is why this is a great football game. Neither team will ever panic. Each has great talent. Each knows its talent. Each has total confidence.
Did you see that block by Larry Little?
Oh!
That made it possible. He's kicked out the cornerback. Williams read it inside. First down, Miami. And it started, really, their problems back at the 4-yard line.
He's made a career of that. 66, Little from Bethune-Cookman. Miami got him as a free agent. San Diego had dropped him. All-pro for years.
First and 10, 28-yard line. Greasy holds his backs in. Dumps it off to Harris. Harris with a nifty move. Get out of trouble, but he loses yardage, 4 yards, back to the 25-yard line, going down in the arms of James Young.
5:50 left in the third quarter. No panic in Miami. What they have to do is consolidate, hold Houston, show that they can hold Houston. They haven't shown that ability yet.
Second down, 13. Duriel Harris to the left, Nat Moore to the right. Easy, Pledges backs left, trying to isolate a defender. Flag goes down as Greasy goes down at the 27-yard line. And the flag has gone down upfield.
What great coverage by the Houston defenders. Bob couldn't find anyone to throw to. You saw how long he had the ball.
Well, the flag was a hat. That was knocked off an official.
It may be. Frank, watch Leroy Harris. Not Duriel Harris. Leroy. Oh, Duriel, yes, all alone.
Well, Greasy was very busy about this moment. He had a bunch of Houston Oilers all over him. Right now, he's busy again. He has a third down and 12. Gary Davis comes in. Nat Moore set up in the backfield, and now it's flanked out to the right. Greasy, a man is open. Tillman, now a flag is down at the 40-yard line. Tillman has the first down out of the 50, but a flag is down.
I've been waiting all night, Frank, for them to throw to the tight end.
Wild discussion at midfield. Referee Gene Barth consulting his troops. And it appears to be against Houston.
Illegal contact by the defense, refused, first down.
So once again, look at this in isolation as you watch Tillman.
Oh, and when
Brazil
he moved, he put on Brazil. That little fake to the outside, Brazil started to go with him. He was wide open.
In the meantime, once again, Greasy, so poised, has gotten his team out of still another hole. He did it with the Del Williams run. They had started at the 4 after Williams was floored for a loss by Brazil, and now they're up at midfield.
At the 49-yard line of Houston on 1st and 10. Flag is down. Harris has the football.
This will be holding.
And he moves to the 44-yard line, but again, if flag is down, you're going to get the holding call against Miami.
Big penalty. Big mistake. I think the call, Frank, was against Wayne Moore, who has that troubled left knee that you talked about, playing the right side. He can push off the right knee.
Number 79 offense,
Nope.
holding.
Nope.
It is Wayne Moore.
Yes,
He's playing
Wayne
over on
Moore.
the right side. That is not his regular position, but Mike Kern, who ordinarily would be there, has knee troubles. Could not go tonight. So Wayne Moore, coming back from his own knee troubles, has moved to the right side. And of course, Kutzenberg, a guard by trade, that has turned into a fine offensive tackle, playing at the left side for Miami. 1st and 20. Norm Bulash is in. Del Williams is in. Bulash, of course, a better receiver than Leroy Harris. Greasy in trouble, but he finds Nat Moore. Watch out. Mike Reinfeldt makes the saving tackle at the 12-yard line, and Bob Greasy showed you his all-pro credentials. Coolly standing there as Oilers circled all around him.
And moving up. Watch this again. This is Greasy. Now look at him move up. A would-be tackler rusher behind him. And Nat Moore, who is so utterly great. Here's Moore in isolation. Now watch his move as he cuts right across the field. Takes the ball. And he's so hard to bring down after he gets it because he's so elusive.
Let's take a look at the blitz coming in. Number 57 is Steve Kiner. He's picked up beautifully by Larry Little. And then he steps up, gets away from Ken Kennard. And Nat Moore takes it 47 yards down to the 12-yard line. 1st and 10 Miami. They trail by a touchdown. Harris crosses over the 10-yard line and gets down around the 8-yard line.
Folks, did you ever see a more action-packed, more evenly fought football game than this? Just tremendous. Two superbly matched teams. Two of the very best in the NFL. What a matchup.
Much on the line for both of these teams, too. Miami knows that New England, with a great football team, is not going to give anything away. They have, of course, a 9-3 mark. Miami can tie it tonight for the division. They're heading for a showdown December the 18th, which we'll be bringing you. Houston, they know they have a good football team. They trail the Steelers by a couple of games, but there are two wild cards. They're well aware of that. Firing into the end zone. Greasy, intended for Matt Moore. A flag is down.
No question about that call. No question. We called Matt Moore unstoppable at the top of the telecast. Here he is again. And he is indeed, as Willie Alexander goes after him. Clearly interference, unstoppable.
You could have called that twice. Alexander had to grab him. Matt Moore is so quick. He makes a cut so quick that defenders who try and play him too closely are just in all kinds of trouble. That's a first and goal for Miami.
We have 2:29 left in the third quarter.
Alexander grabbed him at the line of scrimmage. Then he interfered with him. Miami is a first and goal. Harris, touchdown, and Miami is within 1 point of tying this game up again.
What a drive. It started at the 12. They were knocked back to the 4 as Brazil decked Delvin Williams. And then all the way down the field. Great offensive line blocking by the Dolphins. Ground level. Leroy Harris in easily. Frank, we've never had a better game.
It is a beauty. Gary, your premium. Don Strock is the holder. And this will tie it up. 2:27 remaining in the third quarter. And we'll be back in a wild Astrodome in Houston in a moment.
By the time this day is done, you'll turn a mountain of canvas and a truckload of living.
Premian puts the foot to it. It'll be Poole at the 5-yard line. Larry Poole. And Larry Poole with a nifty return out over the 30-yard line, close to the 31, where Houston will take over once again. And how about these scoring drives? It's open on the opening kickoff. Miami went 82 yards, and it has been that kind of football all night. Superb professional football. You know, it really is fun to play in one of these games, too. You get the feeling on each part of these teams, they know they're right at their peak, offensively, defensively. It's fun to watch. It's fun to be involved in. Tim Wilson, who has been absolutely superb blocking tonight for Campbell, gets the call, gets a yard, yard and a half.
I must say,
Bob Baumauer and Vernon Herter put the brakes to Wilson.
I must say it's more fun to watch.
Well, at our point in life, you're right.
At my point of life, you're still young. At heart.
2nd and 8. Play action, and Green hustling in is Rusty Chambers. He's been the blitz man. Down goes Pastorini. Back at, well, about the 19-yard line. They'll mark it up a little further.
Look at it again.
Rusty Chambers, who came in wide open, takes him.
This is what Shula wanted, what he said at the very beginning of our telecast. Defense in the second half. And right there, he got it. Rusty Chambers, a superb one-on-one tackler, although in that case, he didn't have to be that. He had the open rush, as Frank described, and he had Pastorini nailed.
Houston's first, rather Miami's first sack of the night. They're 29th on the season. Ronnie Coleman comes in, like Goulash for Miami. He comes in on passing downs. Pastorini, Coleman on the screen. And Coleman with some of the yardage back, moving out around the 37, 38-yard line, tripped up by Norris Thomas. But that brings up fourth down in the punting unit for the Houston Oilers.
So Miami accomplished its purpose. Houston has to give up the football. I must tell you, Mo Towns made a great block on that play that enabled Pastorini, A, to get the ball off, and the receiver to get what yardage he did.
Cepolo standing at his 33-yard line. Parsley not noted for long kicks, although he's kicked well tonight. And he gets off of beauty.
Oh, boy.
Takes Cepolo all the way back to the 15-yard line. Flag goes down. Cepolo goes down at the 22. That was a 57-yard punt by a man who's been averaging a little over 37 yards for the season. Clipping is called against Miami. Well, they step it off. We'll tell you, our telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League. It's intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the National Football League is prohibited.
Personal foul, clipping, number 57 on the run back. First down.
Sean Clancy on the special teams.
So Greasy's in the hole once again. Let's see if he can pull it off again. Miami had the defense to limit Houston to one series of downs. Let's see what Houston can do to stop this man, number 12.
All tied at 21 with just a few seconds remaining in the third quarter. Del Williams. Ted Washington is there, but he gets away from Washington. And he does not get away from Stemrick. Stemrick drives him out of bounds at the 6-yard line.
Well, that's the way with 8 seconds left in the quarter. They began the last drive. They had begun it at the 11. I had earlier said the 12. The officials amended it to the 11. Driven back to the 4, and then Greasy got them out of it with the help of a brilliant run by number 24, Delvin Williams. Let's see if they can repeat.
5-yard loss. Second down, 15. Williams on the night, 78 yards. Earl Campbell of Houston, 73 yards. Leroy Harris, and Harris has the first down. A simple, quick trap maneuver, and Harris rolls out to the 23-yard line. Miami is out of trouble. That's the end of the third quarter. The score of the Dolphins 21, the Oilers 21. We'll return for the fourth quarter in just a moment. We begin the fourth quarter of a well-played football game. That, of course, is an understatement. Two of the top teams in the NFL. And we've been anticipating this for a long time. Once we saw Houston against Pittsburgh, we saw Miami after Greasy came back. And as a matter of fact, his replacement, Don Strock, during the period that he was suffering a knee injury, he kept Miami right in it. He won 6 games that he played. Now Greasy on a 1st and 10, fires a man who's wide open. And it is once again Duriel Harris. Greasy, sharp as attack tonight.
Frank, I don't know how this game is going to turn out. Neither do you. Neither does anybody viewing. But if Bob Greasy isn't as perfect a quarterback as I have ever seen tonight, I don't know who would be. Once again, he got them out of the hole. He called that simple trap. Houston wasn't looking for it. It was exactly the right call. Harris burst up, got them out of the hole. Immediately, he goes to the pass.
The first down, just short of the 40-yard line. Del Williams, Larry Little is out in front. Del Williams turns the corner, but driven out of bounds by Ted Washington. Well, good play by Kiner to strip the interference.
Exactly so. Kiner made that play possible. Washington trailed him and ran Williams out of bounds.
Loss of a yard. Second down, 11. Puts Nat Moore right. Dorial Harris left. This is the down that Houston likes to send those linebackers. Goes on a quick count. Oh, and in the direction of Del Williams, who was upended by a hard-charging Robert Brazil, and Williams continues to be prostrate at the 40. Now he jumps up.
And maybe the first time tonight, Greasy did something on impulse rather than on cool rationale. He unloaded the football. He couldn't find his intended receiver. And finally, a delayed rush got to him, and he got rid of the football. It's his first incomplete after 8 straight. Look at that traffic.
Third down, 11. 39-yard line. Nat Moore, as Gary Davis remains a single setback. Firing over the middle to Tillman. He has the first down. And Tillman all the way down to the 46-yard line for another Miami first down. And the surgeon continues to work.
Again, Greasy comes through. But on this play, watch Tillman, who knows exactly what the first down yardage is. Right there. He had the first down. He picked up extra yardage, but he knew exactly where he was and where he had to be. A professional play.
Tillman with his best year thus far. Last year, 17 receptions. He came in tonight with 24 receptions. Caught a couple tonight, so he's up to 26. Miami with a lot of weapons. Whoops. Larry Little. Wait a minute. The man who really paid for it was Jim Langer, who got just thoroughly popped by Curly Culp. Little apparently did not get the count of the huddle properly. He exploded, and Curly Culp exploded into Langer.
So it's first and 15.
Procedure call marked off against Miami.
That was Larry Little, of course, whom you just saw.
First down, 15.
How can a man be so good so many years, Frank, as Larry Little?
He has been real solid. All goes back to when he came up, really, at San Diego back in '67. Leroy Harris squeezes out 2 or 3 yards, gets back into Houston territory at the 49, but it's going to be second down, 13. Steve Kiner, Greg Bingham. Bingham, by the way, who started his 82nd consecutive game for Houston tonight.
Frequently, you'll see Greasy, didn't do it this time, between downs, take the helmet off, get the glasses clean.
Boulash comes in.
Big boot.
Greasy, of course, will be looking for the blitz. Second and long. Past 2 or 3 situations. Houston, however, has not come with the blitz. This time they do. Greasy holds it, gets protection, and fires for Nat Moore. He does not hold on. Good pickup by Miami. Washington came rushing in on the blitz for Houston.
There's the helmet off, as I suggested a moment ago. Wiping off the brow, the glasses. Now watch the try by Nat Moore. Great try. Ball a little short.
Third down. Long 13. The ball right at the 49-yard line of the Houston Oilers.
All night long, Greasy's been getting them out of this kind of problem. Can he do it now?
Dorial Harris goes to the left. Out to the right is Cephalo. Dorial Harris had it and lost it for a first down at the 25. It'll be fourth down.
You can't hang it on Greasy. Dorial Harris is hurt. Dorial Harris is hurt. It was a perfectly thrown ball. Miami will have to give up possession, but right now, the key question is the injury to Dorial Harris. Watch the play again.
The ball was just behind him, Howard, and he had his body completely off balance. Look at him turn back there.
You're right. Exactly right,
He was
Frank.
hit in the back of the head.
Hit.
Bob Greasy, of course,
he got
took quite a shot as he delivered the ball.
Bethea hit Greasy and really hit him.
But the concern has to be for Duriel Harris.
That's the key
down at
right
the 25-yard line.
You're right. He threw behind him. Ordinarily, Duriel would have caught it, but he got a shot from behind. Legitimate shot. There's Bob. Miami will have to turn it over, but they're in Houston territory, and a good kick will pin Houston back, and they'll have to begin, as Miami has had to do the last 2 times around, from deep within their own territory.
Everything seems to have checked out. Duriel says, I'm all right. Up he goes. He took a wicked shot in the back of the head, and this youngster has been having a whale of a year. He's being assisted off the field. Came in tonight with a couple of touchdowns, but what he has really done has been to take up the slack when Nat Moore has been double covered. Don Shula, of course, is always concerned with the condition of his ball players. Harris appears to be all right. Comes off under his own power as George Roberts comes on to punt for Miami. Guido Merkins deep for Houston back at the 10-yard line. Looking for the corner. Oh, and as he hit a beauty. What a kick right at the 3-yard line. George Roberts with a tremendous kick. 46 yards, and he puts it out at the 3.
Now the day is done, you're on your own, feeling easy, heading home, make it beautiful.
But now he appears to be okay on the Miami bench. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, Houston in deep trouble. Their own 3-yard line. Great kick by George Roberts. 12:25 remaining in the football game. It's tied at 21. That is regulation play. Pastorini from the end zone, safety. Oh! A.J. Dewey. And A.J. Dewey seems to have hurt his shoulder in pulling off the safety. And that is a dangerous maneuver, something that teams know that Pastorini has done in the past. Dewey has hurt his shoulder.
It looks like the shoulder quite clearly. A great play by Dewey. A tremendous turn of events in this football game. There's Dewey.
Fell right on it, twisted under his body. But the 2 points go up on the scoreboard. The Dolphins have the lead again.
The Defensive Rookie of the Year a year ago, as Frank mentioned, in the Hall of Fame game this year, suffered a knee injury, had surgery, came back from it with the same skills that he showed a year ago. Baumhauer, the other great Rookie of a year ago, had similar surgery. He came back from it. These people at Miami, somehow under Shula, always seem to mesh. But it was Roberts' punt that set that up.
Indeed it was, and the safety by this man, A.J. Dewey. And, of course, following the safety, a team gets to kick. They can either punt or have the ball held and place kick it from the 20-yard line. Deep, Gary Davis, number 27, and Duriel Harris, number 82. So Duriel Harris, obviously all right. Parsley hits it. And it's Duriel Harris. And Duriel Harris into Houston territory at the 45-yard line. J.C. Wilson made the stop in Miami with a couple of big breaks, and one of them hit it right on the head. Parsley kicked that ball 46 yards, put it out on the 3, and right now A.J. Dewey is headed for the Miami Dolphin locker room.
One can only hope it's not a shoulder separation, which is terribly painful, and of course would sideline him for weeks. Now let's look at...
There he is.
Let's look at the punter again.
Tell you what, they've had a lot of trouble. George Roberts replaced Larry Seifel when he was hurt. Mike Michelle earlier had been hurt, so he just was a quick pickup, and he's done a great job for Miami. 1st and 10, Miami. Greasy wants a big one. Dorial Harris is interfered with by Willie Alexander.
No question about that call
around
either.
the 20-yard line.
Now Miami is striking, and this is what Shula wanted in the second half. The whole thing set up by Mr. Roberts. Here's Dorial Harris, and watch it.
You can't touch that receiver after 5 yards downfield. And while we're looking at the replay, we note downfield that Larry Little has come out of the game limping. He appears to have hurt his left leg.
But it was Willie Alexander who committed the infraction.
First down, 40-yard line.
So Miami is in great field position. There's Larry Little, and we'll get a report on him as quickly as possible, and on A.J. Dewey, too. But remember, Mr. Roberts, who looks nothing like Henry Fonda or John Forsythe, set this whole turn of events up.
Wally Pursuit is in, number 65. Miami already in trouble at their offensive line. This is Del Williams. Good defensive play. Ted Washington got the first hand on Del Williams. There's Larry, the leg being checked out, and what they're doing to see if there is any loosening of the ligaments, to stretch the leg out straight and then move it back and forth. Second and 10. The ball at the 40-yard line. Norm Boulos is in. No flag. Andre Tillman. Tillman corralled by Bill Courier. He gets 6 yards. It's going to be 3rd and 4. The thinking man's quarterback.
He really is. And I was looking for Tillman right then. Look at those stats. 18 out of 27. 237 yards. Put on the rubber gloves and begin the operation. That's Mr. Greasy.
23-21. The Dolphins over the Oilers. Dolphins battling to stay abreast of New England in their division of the AFC. On 3rd and 4. Matt Moore was open. He did not hold on. And Dorial Harris could not pick the ball up. He made a diving effort. Incomplete.
So Houston did what it had to do. Let's look at it again.
Out of the backfield. It'll come in and out of his hands, and Dorial Harris almost gets to it.
Nope.
So George Roberts comes in on 4th down and 4.
All the time in the world, as I said a week ago, from here to eternity. 11-11 left, and Houston gets the football. Let's see what Mr. Roberts can do this time.
There's Guido Merkins trying to guess with Roberts as to which side of the field he will kick the ball. And flag goes down. Time has expired. Of course, Miami trying to draw Houston off. It doesn't make much difference whether Roberts kicks from 5 yards further back, and this, of course, we see all the time in NFL play.
Preliminary report on A.J. Dewey. I thought we might hear him then, but we didn't. Strained shoulder. Well, that's better than separated by a long shot.
Roberts again. Guido Merkins now adjusts up to about the 12-yard line. Roberts this time pounds it into the end zone. And not much of a pickup on that because Houston will have the football after the touchback at their 20-yard line.
Sooner or later, they all come to me. Some of them, regrettably, before their time.
Serini steps into the Houston Oiler huddle. He has 11 minutes and 4 seconds for a pitch to work. He has a 1st and 10. The ball at his own 20-yard line. He is down by 2 points. The quick toss goes to Earl Campbell. And Earl Campbell just does his thing, moving out close to the 29-yard line. Give him 8 yards. It'll be be second down and 2.
Now we test Pastorini. All he has to do is hold himself together. He's got the maturity now. He's got the touch. He's got the runner in Campbell. Frank has emphasized that. Fixes stuff up. They've got the talent. The offensive line so vastly improved this year. They've got to move it.
And Tim Wilson. And Wilson close to the first down. He has it.
Larry Little, by the way, still on the bench, an ice pack on his knee. And they tell us it's just a bruise, which has to be good news for Don Shula.
Well, we watched that 45 lean into the huddle in. I haven't really noticed in looking at films or watching the Pittsburgh game what an effective part of this offensive team he is, blocking for Campbell. Campbell straight ahead, or rather Wilson straight ahead. Gets 2 or 3 yards. It'll be second down and 7. Pastorini just keeping the defense honest.
Baumhauer and Bocamper stopping Tim Wilson on that play.
We have number 75, Doug Betters, in for A.J. Dewey. He, of course, the rookie from the University of Nevada at Reno, a 6th-round draft pick. He filled that spot early in the season when Dewey was recovering from knee surgery. This is Burrows. And Mr. Excitement, look at him.
Burrows can kill you on that play. He's done it again and again over the last 3 years. That was only his second catch of the night. But you throw him that swing or a screen pass, and with his quick feet and his elusiveness, the momentary fumble, look at him find that hole.
Gets away from Gordon. Gets away from Den Herder. Thomas, 24-yard pickup on what should have been a 4- or 5-yard gain. First down, 44-yard line of the Dolphins. Clock ticking away. Inside 9 minutes. Earl Campbell, right side. Campbell, the ball thrust forward. He pulls it back. He has another Houston first down.
They're chewing up yardage. They're inside the 40. They're to the 34. It's probably a first down. If not, it's inches away.
It's first down. Earl Campbell following again Tim Wilson. That is up to date. And Earl Campbell, of course, went over the 1,000-yard mark earlier. This crowd up on their feet with Houston at the 34-yard line of the Miami Dolphins. The Oilers trailing by 2 points. Campbell smothered at the line of scrimmage. Den Herder was there. Bo Camper. It'll be second down and 10.
7:50 left in this game. Miami 23, Houston 21. The Oilers driving.
Rich Castor in at wide receiver, top of your screen. There he is. He'll get the screen. The same play that Burrows had a while ago on the other side. And Castor rolls for yardage down close to the 26-yard line before he's stopped by Steve Toll.
Remember what Bum Phillips told Frank? No, I don't show emotion on the sidelines. I don't want to undo my own men. But inside, I'm chewing myself apart. Bum Phillips, so much smarter than so many people think. That's no cowhand. That man, he's a football coach.
Big play for Houston. And it's not a cliche at this point. Third down, 2.5 to 3 yards. Earl Campbell, single setback. Gets the call. And he's been making big plays his entire career. First down, Houston. Look at this crowd.
They speak for themselves. They've been that way all night.
Campbell is just wearing down the Miami defense. He's getting good blocking, but when he meets a tackler, he just carries him with him. And it starts to take its toll in the fourth quarter. He just punishes you. On first down, it is Wilson. Pastorini mixing up his big backs. 5-yard pickup, 2nd and 5.
Shula, impassive, but worried. 5:50 left in the game. And Houston driving. Even a field goal would put them ahead. They trailed by the margin of a safety.
2nd and 5. The ball resting just inside the 15. Ken Burr to the right. And Pastorini switching up. He gives it to Wilson once again. Short of the first down, down at the 12-yard line. It'll be 3rd and 2. Seconds ticking off. Burrow goes out of the game. And we get the extra blocking man. It's a guard, John Schumacher, a rookie from USC. He lines up, has to report to the officials because he wears number 62. He lines up at tight end. Campbell to the outside.
Goodbye!
Oh, is he putting on a show tonight?
So they stand as one. And the sign showed quickly, look out, America, here comes Houston. America's fastest growing city. And right now, in this arena, America's football team.
And this lead is seesawed back and forth all night. The Oilers out in front again. Let's look at it again. A quick toss. He has that amazing speed for a big man. Superb blocking in front of it. A great defensive football team. And now they have come up with a superb offense. Tony Frisch. The Oilers.
There he is.
28-23. This man, the spark plug. We'll be back in a while Astrodome right after this message.
Kodak Color Burst Instant Camera. You get color in minutes. Color by Kodak.
Let me see.
That's downright irresistible.
Oh, man. He did 28-23. And this man, who played his college football, of course, at the University of Texas, is still inspiring these fans. Look at them.
It's an amazing crowd. And the thing about Campbell, he's like O.J. Simpson. He plays great, and he congratulates his team. You like to see that.
Tony Frisch hits the ball for Houston. Duriel Harris takes it at the 10. And Harris warmed under at the 26-yard line. Let's look at it again. Schumacher, a guard, was in at tight end. The quick toss to that side with a good block out in front. Campbell then just turns on amazing speed for a man his size. Bolts into the end zone. Houston back out front. All right. Miami knows what they must do. They have 4 minutes, 37 seconds with which to work. They begin at their 26-yard line. Greasy, one of the coolest and one of the best in the business, looks it over. Hands off to Leroy Harris. Harris runs into Washington out at the 30-yard line.
Try to trap
the 27-yard line.
Try to trap inside. Again, no panic. 4:24 left and counting down. Plenty of time left, as Frank said, for an artist like number 12. But now under just unbearable pressure because he's facing an aroused and exceptional football team.
Now listen to the fans. Defense, defense. Leroy got a couple of yards. It's 2nd down and 8. Has the time. Has the receiver, Duriel Harris. Harris tries to get free from Willie Alexander, but he goes down in Oiler territory at the 42, and Greasy brings them roaring back again.
He's amazing. A great play. Greasy really paid for it. Look
Elvin
at this.
Buffet, right side. There it is. He unloaded on Greasy just as Bob turned it loose.
Had Turiel been able to break this tackle, the lead would have changed hands again. A great tackle by Willie Alexander. There's the rush. Now watch 65. Elvin Buffet. Oh.
Greasy 19 of 28, 267 yards. Clock ticking away. 3 minutes, 20 seconds remaining in the game. 28-23, the Oilers over the Dolphins. Going for Tillman. And it's deflected into the arms of Steve Kiner. A flag goes down.
Flag down, but that should do it.
Mike Reinfeldt, who has been hitting Dolphins all over the field tonight.
A great game
with Andre Tillman.
It's had a great game.
It went into the arms of Steve Kiner. And Houston has a turnover, a personal foul being assessed against them, but they have the football. A clipping call against Houston after the interception. But they have what they want, and that is the football. Let's look again. Bob just hung it up there a little too long. Reinfeldt got to Tillman. There's Kiner with the ball. There's the clip. But Kiner holds on, and Houston will have the football first and 10 at their 7-yard line.
Now they got to hold on to it. They can't make a mistake. They can't have a turnover. 3 minutes, 5 seconds left. You pro football fans know how long that can be. Deep in their own territory. On the 7.
3:05. Each team has... The Oilers have 2 timeouts. The Dolphins have 3. Tim Wilson, you saw him cover the football because he knows the Dolphins will be trying to jar him loose. The hands will be groping in there. He gets 4. It'll be 2nd and 6. Pastorini, been around for 8 years. He'll use every second on that clock, which he can see at either end zone, counting down from 30. Miami with 3 timeouts will probably stop it before the 2-minute warning. To utilize that as another break in the clock. Campbell goes down out at the 14-yard line, short of the first down. It's going to be 3rd down and 3.
Knowing that Pastorini...
Timeout Miami.
Knowing that Pastorini will use the run, and what a game he's played, Miami closes down. What a game. We'll be right back.
In ancient times, people worshipped winged gods, symbols of freedom and strength. But today, every man has wings to fly to Persepolis and other legendary lands of the Middle East, or anywhere else in the world, on a Boeing 747. The world's favorite way to fly.
You know, for too long now, bowlers have been left out of light beer commercials, and football players have been grabbing all the glory. But bowlers know light beer from Miller tastes great. We know light's got 1/3 less calories than the regular beer. We know light's less filling. Bowlers love light just as much as football players.
That's right.
And we also love the easy opening can.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Well, we know you're enjoying this one tonight. Watching Earl Campbell and the Houston Oilers battle the Miami Dolphins. Key play now for Houston. They have the ball, 3rd down. Just about 2.5 yards to go for the first. The ball at their own 14-yard line.
Watch number 34. 34.
John Schumacher is in there again. He is the guard that turns into a tight end. Hard to believe that it would be anyone else but Campbell.
There it is.
First down, Houston. Earl Campbell had 944 yards coming into tonight. He has gained 117 tonight. He's at 1,061 yards. the 2-minute warning. Houston now in great shape. They lead 28-23. We'll be right back.
Solidness and friendliness. You like the likes of Opal. Nimbleness and spaciousness. You like the likes of Opal.
There are lots of things to like about our trusty little Opal, like tender, loving workmanship. So if you're looking for a great Japanese car, look for a great American name.
You like the likes, the sheer delight. You like the likes of Opal.
Welcome to our people-pleasing places.
Mr. Carlin, your briefcase.
We are people-pleasing places.
Holiday Inn hotels are #1 in the world with the best standards.
Everything all right, sir?
Everything's just fine. People-pleasing standards to help make your trip successful.
Wherever you go in this whole big traveling world.
We want to make you comfortable.
Holiday Inn is #1 in people-pleasing.
We're going to pause quickly. 5 seconds till our stations all along the line. Let you know who's bringing you this football game. The situation. 2 minutes remain to play. The Oilers have a 28-23 lead. They have a first down. The ball at their own 18-yard line. Miami can stop the clock 2 more times with timeouts. It boils down to, well, let's hang on to the football. Don Shula, who's been here before, unruffled. He knows there's tomorrow. He knows he has a class football team. And they have met another one tonight. Campbell. Hit right at the line of scrimmage. Moves forward. A yard and a half. It'll be second down and 8.
Tonight is Earl Campbell's 6th 100-yard game of the season. His lowest game all season. 6th 100-yard game of the season. His lowest game all season, 71 yards. And that's not bad. We have had 45 first downs. You can't walk on the oil. That's what the sign says. Over 700 yards gained by both teams on offense. Just great game.
On second and 8. Campbell just outruns everyone to the right. And look out. He's gone. He may take it all the way. Puts his head down. 80-yard touchdown. This is over. What a show this man has put on tonight. Ran around the block of Wilson, turned on that fever down the sideline. Forget it.
What you've seen tonight, ladies and gentlemen, is a truly great football player. In the late moments, take total personal command of a game. And you have seen the Houston Oilers on national television establish that they are an exceptional football team. They're beating a great team tonight. Watch it again.
Look at him go around that.
See that block of the block, and that was all he needed.
Cole had no chance. He knew he couldn't catch him. And no way that Curtis Johnson was
tried to track him down and couldn't.
And it's officially 81 yards.
An extraordinary personal performance, an extraordinary team performance. The Houston Oilers, an underpublicized team, an underrated team. Look at those statistics. 199 yards, 28 rushes, 4 touchdowns. What a football play. What a game. And our congratulations to an exceptional Houston football team.
Tony Fritz for the conversion. And with 1:11 on the clock, the Houston Oilers have increased their lead over the Dolphins, 35-23. Next week, it will be Cincinnati for Houston as we look once again. And it's just hard to conceive that somebody this large could be that quick and then have a sustained speed that he has.
And in there, another fine block by Jim Wilson to give Earl the initial freedom to execute that run. And these people, maybe sports is out of perspective, but for this night at least,
Missouri tonight, Del Williams. Fritz hits it. It'll be Gary Davis. Fouls the ball. Picks it up. And out to the 24-yard line. 1 minute and 6 seconds. Remaining for the Miami Dolphins. They have 2 timeouts.
I have to look back to Frank's interview with Buzz Phillips, the man who wears the expensive cowboy boots. And the crowd roars as the PA announcer tells them about Earl Campbell's statistics and how he passed Delvin Williams. And he sits there, quiet and composed, well within himself. A team player. There in the new standing, 13 yards ahead of the great Miami run. And more than that, ahead of Walter Payton and Tony Dorsett.
Bob Greasy, it's not out of the realm of possibility. He has to strike quickly and then get an onside kick. He goes to the screen. Here's Norm Bulash. And Bulash, who played in his college football at TCU, gets out to the 47-yard line.
There is Bum Phillips. There's the man who deserves so much credit. A reporter asked me recently, what do you think of Bum Phillips? Not much, huh? I said, so much smarter than people think or have been led to believe, and he is.
Greasy on to Gary Davis. And Davis lunges forward to the first down as Greasy goes down quickly. Miami stops the clock. They now have 1 timeout. And Bob Greasy holds it and pays for it. He had to wait until Gary Davis uncovered coming out of the backfield. You saw him circling to the left. And there he is, pounded to the turf. The agony of defeat. So you, the executive producer of ABC Sports' Monday Night Football, is produced by Dennis Lewin, directed by Chet Forty, our technical director Bill Morris, associate director Bob Weiner, technical manager Coach Coltrane, unit manager Bob Crivelli, stats and research by Jerry Klein, our spotter Steve Bazika, booth assistant Bob Rosberg. 27 seconds remaining in the game. Oilers 35, the Dolphins 23. Miami has 1 timeout. And not a bad night for Bob Greasy. 300-yard game.
I'd just like to say that for years, that's what the standings will look like after this game is over. For years, the NFL has had the best propaganda machine in American sport, and a lot of it has been just that. That's what the standings will look like in the Central Division. Just propaganda. But tonight's game lived up to all of the propaganda. And both teams are to be congratulated. Both of them.
What a weird set. I've never seen that. Not too effective. Greasy goes down. Houston turns it loose. They're, of course, totally disregarding run.
Ken Kennard, 71, in there on Greasy, whom you have to have total respect of his performance tonight. Greasy and Kennard, tough, in there, having a great game tonight. Look at it again.
Andy Doris on top, Kennard right there. They'll start the clock. The receivers are back. It's ticking away inside 20 seconds. Greasy conserving his final timeout. Hangs it up, hoping for a deflection. And he gets the completion down at the 11-yard line. Complete, and it was taken down there by Bo Rather, recently acquired, but the clock now stops with 5 seconds.
Interesting that Bo Rather, number 85, caught that football a number of years back. I spent a week at Biscayne College with the Dolphins in training camp doing a series of specials on Bo Rather. Now, Bo Rather, at that point in time, had been the Dolphins' 4th-round draft choice, and he was a good-looking athlete. But that was when Miami was the Super Bowl champion, and they had no room for Rather. They had too many other receivers, so they let him go, and he went to the Chicago Bears. Now he's back with them because Shula remembered him. And there's no quit in either of those men. They can't win this game, they know it. But there's no quit in them. As Campbell smiles understandably, joyfully. What a performance. performance by him.
How we look at Earl Campbell, we'll tell you the next week. Houston is home for Cincinnati. Then they play Pittsburgh right here. Then they have New Orleans in the Superdome. And they close here with San Diego. Three of their four final games to be played indoors, so to speak. Miami will be home for the Jets next week. Then they will travel to Washington, home for Oakland, and then we'll see them against New England December the 18th.
Houston is keeping the pressure on Pittsburgh, Frank, which snaked by Cincinnati by 1 point yesterday. And we've got Pittsburgh against the 49ers, who yesterday scared the Rams to death and who are beginning to play football. So next Monday's game becomes an excitement of its own.
Could be the final play of just a super football game. In the end zone, this Jimmy Cephalo touchdown, and the clock has run out. So Bob Greasy has had himself quite a night. No time remaining on the scoreboard clock.
But what professionalism to the very end, respecting their own pride.
We'll have the conversion, if you might be wondering why. Well, it could quite possibly down the line and a bit tiebreakers and playoffs. It could play a role.
When you see a team do what Miami just did, and you look at that man Shula and that man Greasy, you understand the word professional. Because they've got their pride and their self-respect, and they've just proven they are what sports are supposed to be about.
The Premier game is over. Oilers win at 35-29 over 31. Once again, the final score: Houston 35, Miami 30. And be sure to join us this Thanksgiving weekend for exciting football action.
The National Football League. Major League Baseball presents the Batty World of Baseball. This is Harry Carey, and I'll be your guide as we take a look at all the zanies who played this game, from John McGraw to Tug McGraw. So, kick off your shoes and stay a while. I'll be right back. Hello again, everybody. You caught me a little bit off guard, but that's all part of the Batty World of Baseball. You know, I've been in the big leagues through 5 decades now, broadcasting for the Cardinals, the A's, and the Chicago White Sox. And I've seen a lot of changes through the years. But as long as there's been baseball, the game's been filled with comedy and characters. I mean, free spirits are attracted to baseball like bats to a belfry. And why don't you join me in my belfry, the broadcast booth? And we'll kick off this celebration of the lighter side of baseball with my...
Come through nicely for Casey Jones, particularly Greg Kite. He did his job, helped pick up a 4th foul on Kareem. And now there'll be some fresh Celtics coming off the bench, so some nice juggling there by Casey Jones.
Absolutely. Kevin McHale with 25 leads the Celtics. Magic Johnson has 18, the high scorer for the Lakers. Larry Bird is back, so is Robert Parrish. And the Celtics have their starting 5 in there. No time to look ahead of the future for Casey Jones now. Going with the heavy metal. Inside, Kupchak. And Kupchak gets it over Bird on a good play by Mitch.
A terrific position right underneath the basket on Bird.
Lakers have not played their running game the way they want it, but they're leading, so they've got to feel good at least about that. McHale. Ames. Off. Kupchak. Keep in mind, Kareem's on the bench with 4 fouls, and Kupchak's done a yeoman work.
Danny Ainge has to hit that outside shot if they're going to win this game.
Magic Johnson. Worthy gets the offensive rebound. Long rebound out to James.